Nobody saw. The moment we came on screen, you pulled away. Do it again.
What?
Tifa has found that she has dimples. And
it
she
just
cannot
looks
get
weird,
over
like
it.
it's white. Like... Here.
Yes, Tifa, it's dimples. Some people have them at some point in their life.
Just like I'm getting old. Like, that's not a dimple.
Then what is it?
I don't know.
What's the opposite of a dimple?
But suddenly it's there. That was not there yesterday.
A dimple. That was there yesterday.
That was not there yesterday.
It's been there for, I want to say, months, if not years, when you pull that face.
I don't think so.
In other news, welcome back to Higurashi. And also, happy Friday and happy my first vacation day. It was so nice. I woke up, had breakfast with Tifa when she had to go to work, and I didn't.
But I only had a short day too, so it wasn't too bad. I have so many overhours built up, took like half a day.
I'm so happy I started crying talking about this.
So happy for you. Like, fuck off.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But welcome in Psycho, because of being second, first, nice, in that order, because for once I know how to read. Welcome in, hello everybody, how are you all doing?
We can do that. Cheers. To your vacation.
Here's to my vacation, cheers.
To me, not that it's too cold.
Tepid green tea.
What?
It's tepid.
Tepid?
Yeah, tepid.
What's tepid?
The word that the Pokemon Tepig was named after. Tepid and pig. Tepig.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Room temperature-ish.
Why is tepid room temperature?
No, tepid. Tepig is a Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what I
Tepid
that's why I
is
was confused.
this.
Because I don't think tepid is room temperature.
Tifa, I don't know. I don't work at Nintendo. I mean, I know I act like it sometimes, but I don't actually work with it. I would love to, though, I think. I'm crying. Still.
No, I don't work at Nintendo. Just like my uncle.
My family said I'm special. I should be allowed to work at Nintendo. No, I seriously always wanted to, but funnily enough, I never applied at Nintendo. The only somewhat video game related thing I ever applied for was GameStop.
Can you even get a job at Nintendo here in Germany?
Yeah. In Frankfurt now. There used to be in Groß-Ostheim. The only reason I know that place exists is because that's where Nintendo was headquartered.
Groß-Ostheim?
Yeah. I always wanted to go there because of that, and then the one time we actually were close to where I quickly googled the address of Nintendo. I was like, oh my god, we're near Groß-Ostheim. Ah, Nintendo, Dad, turn around the car. But then I learned that they actually moved to Frankfurt, and I've been to Frankfurt, and I don't need to go there when I'm not around. I'm good without that. It's not my city. My uncle works at Nintendo. Does he? Let me guess, he was one that put the Mew under the truck in... crap, which one is it? Vermilion City?
Does he still have some job offers?
Does he have a job for somebody who has the skill to talk mostly bullshit for hours? Because I feel like that's my unique skill. What am I good at?
I mean, there are jobs like that.
Yeah, not for people on vacation. No! I've been defeated.
Man.
I will not stop crying now. It's gonna be one of those streams. Tifa.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the dry heating air because it's cold. We have the heating on. Maybe it... Not in this room as she ducks out of the camera frame because who needs to see the people that are streaming, right?
I have to see what the heating stand is on. And that's like...
Yeah, the way this whole apartment has been, I think, built by drunk people or people that were not very efficient. So the only way we can see what the heating in this room is set on, we have to go to the heating unit manually and turn a knob, is like from here I cannot see it. Like you have to like get it the right angle so that you can see where the desk is. Don't worry about it, we're good. My eyes will recover. What I won't recover from is the following public transport story that Tifa has prepared for you. Go.
Oh yeah, public transport story. Yesterday on my way home. It was a
Yeah.
good one.
She unfortunately told me already I will drink something while I can.
I told you yesterday, too. No, it's not as bad as some of them been.
Yes, it is.
Yesterday on my way home, unfortunately, I caught rush hour. And that means you're standing like sardines within the train for a couple of stops until it gets better. So I'm standing like a sardine with the rest of all the people in the hallway. Fortunately, not having to hold on to anything because, you know, even if I fall, I'll be caught from all sides. There's no point holding on.
It's bump and grind like in a very full club.
And I'm standing like in the hallway where you enter the door and there's a pole in the middle that people can hold on to, like in most trains.
It's public transport. Buses, trains, trams, they all usually have these like handrail thingies, like a pole.
Exactly. And next to me is this kid. Don't ask me how old he was, 8, 9, 10, I don't know.
An 81-year-old caught in the body of a 7-year-old.
That could be, actually. He like sneezes. And his hand is like filled with snot. And I think we've all had that happen to us before. I know I have at most unfortunate times.
Everybody at least once in their life, in a public setting, sneezed, tried to like hold the sneeze, and blew a wad of snot in their hands. Yeah. Everybody has gone through that, and everybody knows how that feels. Carry on, sorry.
It happens, unfortunately. So this kid's like looking at his hand. I'm looking at the kid. I'm looking at his hand. I'm like...
Disgusting.
I'm like sort of checking my pocket for tissues. I usually don't even carry tissues, but who knows. Don't have any, so I don't say anything. And this kid just goes, "You're the pole."
I'm a pole.
And he's like rubbing it all over that, and there's like this slimy layer on this bit of the pole.
When he pulled his hand away, could you see the like threads of mucus between the pole and his hand? Like
I didn't watch. I was too busy. We're almost at the next stop. Doors open. People get out, and this woman like reorganizes herself towards the hallway and grabs this pole. Before I could even realize, she grabs it, and I see that moment of realization on her face that she touched something yucky. I was like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what you got on your hand now." But I didn't say anything. I was rude as hell. I don't know if I could have made it better by telling her what was on her hand now, but...
I was going to say, no, since you weren't able to stop her from doing it, at this point, I feel like this is a philosophical question that everybody needs to ask themselves. There is no right answer, I think. Would you rather be told what it was by somebody who saw, or would you rather not know? Because on one hand, whatever you can imagine will be the worst thing you can imagine. On the other hand,
could be anything.
Knowing will not solve the situation. It will not make the situation better. There is, like, unless somebody has something for you to wipe your hands with and like disinfection stuff for you to clean your hand, there is no way out of this. And even after you healed the damage that is being done, you still have the emotional trauma that you went through this to heal from.
It was just so nasty. So fortunately she had tissues herself, wipes off her hands, and you see her like...
like the hand is now rotten or something.
Like you.
It's fine, I still have one other hand to use.
What do I do with this?
Yeah, let me put that away. It's better like this. And that's the day I lost my right arm. See, I had to take it off.
Unfortunately, had to take it off. Mommy, happy Friday as well.
Welcome in. Me, if I was non-binary, my name is Higurashi. Okay, to make it make sense for everybody that doesn't see it, today's stream title is Alibi or Psychosis, but alibi is written A-lie-by. because of where we are in the game, which Tifa will recap for us later. And it's gonna be great, because I don't think Tifa remembers anything
I remember.
when we last played Higurashi.
But just not that.
Okay, well, fair, I guess.
So yeah, I told Jack when we got home, of course.
Yeah, no, Tifa moment. Tifa didn't just tell me when she came home yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday. Thursdays, after work, we tried to go to the gym. And we did yesterday. So Tifa comes home going, I'm starving, I need food. And I'm telling her, yeah, I understand that, but you need the gym first. She's like,
Sure.
Ugh. The problem with both of us is, if we eat first and then go to the gym, we will throw up, and nobody needs that. It's
You
a
will
waste.
throw up.
I will. I think you might too. You just haven't tried it yet. And it's better if you don't. Nobody needs that. It's a waste of food, it's disgusting, and it makes me feel bad, so no. So we went to the gym first. And then we're leaving the gym, we're walking home to treat ourselves to a nice post-workout kebab, because that's what you do sometimes. And then, as we're approaching the store, I'm starving too. She tells me the story and I almost threw up on the road. And then she just smilingly goes to the kebab store and orders the food, and I'm standing there like...
Why do snot stories make people puke?
Because you're disgusting. Well, not you, but
It's not
the
that
stories
bad.
are. Mommy, thank you for the resub.
Hey.
Love. 25 months, that's 2 years and 1 month. Damn, has it been that long?
What were we playing then?
Tifa, I don't remember what we ate last week. I don't know what we were streaming 25 months ago.
That's a good question.
Wow, Jack, quick math. Be happy it was 25. With 26 I would have just been confused. That's one too many, like, for me to do an equation for. You did that on purpose, Tifa? Yeah, that's
I
what
was
I was
actually thinking of it because someone was blowing his nose really loudly on the street when we passed him, and that's when I was like, oh yeah, I didn't tell the story yet.
But you could have waited. You could have let us get food first. You could have waited for us to eat in peace. You could have waited 90 minutes to 2 hours for the food to pass through my stomach into my intestines, so I'm puke proof, and then tell the story. You could have been considerate.
I'm not that considerate.
You're putting the rat back into considerate.
I keep forgetting your stomach is so sensitive for some reason.
I don't think it's my stomach. I have a very vivid imagination. So if somebody tells me a story like this, I see it. And when we get to the crucial point of the story, I feel it. I feel my hand close around the pole, and I feel the squelch. You're disgusting. But I love you anyway.
Yeah, it was funny.
Talking about
Nasty
things
as
that disgust me though. Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 3, Tatarigoroshi?
The last time we played, we were still in Higurashi.
You can't be in Higurashi. There is no such thing as being in Higurashi. I mean, for us, yes, on a meta level, but...
Oh yeah, shit, the town was not called Higurashi. What's that town called again?
Hinamizawa.
Oh yeah, Hinamizawa. We were still in Hinamizawa.
For you, Hini-mini-mi.
We were in the chapter where, fuck, what's her name? Yoko?
So, last time, which has actually been a couple weeks, unfortunately because scheduling issues. Last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 3 Tatarigoroshi, it was the aftermath of Keiichi Maebara taking it into his own hands to kill Satoko's uncle.
Satoko,
because
not Yoko.
He is a drunk, abusive piece of shit who lays his hands on Satoko. as far as we know. Potentially also other things, but that's the thing that drove Keiichi over the edge.
That's what I was going to say, but I forgot her name.
So after previously waiting for him in this little forest path, having him called there, and murdering him, now it was time to bury the body, which he had done. And now last time kicks in. So Keiichi is super tired, he's trying to get home, he gets on his bike, he's half covered in mud, but nobody will notice that, right? Because it's raining really hard and it's the night of a Watanagashi festival, so everybody is either home already or they've got other things to worry about.
That was not the last
He
stream.
is cycling home when suddenly a car comes his way. He, being too exhausted, tired, coming down, crashing from the adrenaline, doesn't dodge. The car almost hits him. The car stops and out comes...
I forgot her name. The girlfriend of Tomo... What's his name?
Tomitake.
Tomitake. But that was not the last stream.
Tomitake's
You're not answering the
girlfriend
question.
gets out. I'm trying to overplay the fact I don't remember the name. Tomitake's
I'm not talking
girlfriend
about
gets
the
out and Takano-san. Takano-san comes out and she's like, "What are you doing here, kid?" So then this weird song and dance begins where Keiichi is like, this is bad. I can kill her though. But no, I really don't. I'm too tired. So he doesn't. Eventually, Takano-san goes, "Well, sorry for almost hitting you. Really, it's your fault. But I'll drive you home. Then we're even, right? So grab your stuff, put it in the car, and then we go." Keiichi's like, my leg, I fell. So she helps him up, gets him into the car. She gets his bike, throws that in there. Keiichi is somewhat weird about his shovel because, you know, that's the one he used to bury the body with. She drives him home. He kind of like passes out, falls asleep, until eventually he wakes up again. And then at his house, they have this really weird interaction because it seems abundantly clear that Takano knows that Keiichi killed somebody. And Keiichi seems to know that Takano-san knows and that she also did something. Because amongst the things in the car is Tomitake's bicycle. But Tomitake is nowhere to be seen. Why on this day in the rain at the night of Watanagashi would she have his bicycle in the back? She knows that he knows that she knows that he knows. Exactly. Keiichi describes it something like the two demons, the two murderer spirits staring at each other. Both of them like, we were not supposed to meet tonight, so we didn't. And that's what Takano-san does. She's like, you didn't see me, I didn't see you. Keiichi's like, huh? You didn't see me, I didn't see you. Are we good? They agree. She leaves, she drives off, he goes to sleep. He wakes up the next day, he's like, yes, it's the best day ever. It's the first day of my new life. I killed the uncle. Everything is great. So now Satoko can be happy again. I'm just gonna take it easy this morning and then I'm gonna... I was looking for a word, I can't find it. Then I just gently walk to school, enjoying my new life. Because I'm not a murderer. I put all of this behind me. This is now the perfect life. She'll be happy again. I'll be happy. I'll be her Nini. It's gonna be amazing. Eventually, he gets to school late, but you know, whatever, he needs to like bask in the glory of having changed everything. He gets there, and his friends are like, oh, hey Keiichi, how did you like the festival yesterday? Because you were there.
Actually, remember these parts.
And they keep saying, yeah, remember we did the thing that actually happened in chapter 1 where we like looked at all the stalls and played games? And then we also bring up stuff that only happened in chapter 2. Yeah, don't you remember when we ate all the food and rated it? Yesterday, Keiichi? But not with a nudge nudge wink wink like we know you weren't there. Just no, they seem convinced that Keiichi was there. So Keiichi is like, there has to be 2 Keiichi Maebaras now. There has to be 2 of me. And I hate the other Keiichi Maebara that got to have fun with his friends. Meanwhile, I was out there saving the world by killing the uncle. I hate this other Keiichi. Satoko still looks super distraught, which makes sense because either she thinks her uncle is missing or whatever, she probably hasn't realized that she's free yet. If she actually were, we don't know. Then the teacher comes in and then Tifa said, oh, let's call it a night here.
Sounds about right.
So we don't know if this is suddenly like the multiverse collapsing in on each other and all the chapters are like blending into each other, or if our friends are lying and giving us an alibi, or if Keiichi has like a split personality thing where he was in the 2 different places, he's just remembering things weird, or maybe he was hallucinating the entire murder scene. What was Takano-san doing there? What happened to Tomitake-san? I'm confused. And despite it having been so long since we actually played this, I'm still angry at not understanding anything about these games. Good recap, Tifa. Nice.
Yeah, it is.
Well done.
At first I was like, this was not what happened last, and I was right, because that was like also from like 2 streams.
You had to lead into
the
it.
2 streams before, but yeah, I get it.
Can't just go, the thing.
I remember these bits.
Meanwhile, welcome in Dark Lord.
Happy Friday.
Thank you for the 7 stream streak.
And Mama joined us because we were playing a game they were interested in. Remember the time I would only follow new channels if I raided in with someone? Suddenly I saw some goofy goof streaming a game I liked, and it was mainly the funky username. It was convinced breaking my rule.
I told you the name is amazing.
Oh, the Platinum Soul Link. Oh, that could actually be. Has that been 2 years ago already?
Possible, but I can tell you the wound of your betrayal is still fresh.
No, it could totally be 2 years. I'm not sure.
I'm still mad about that.
Could also have been last year.
I'm still mad about
Hard
that.
to say, actually.
I want you to know that.
Things are not as they seem yet again. Yes, that is indeed the case.
Always, and I'm still mad about that Platinum Nuzlocke Soul thing.
Oh, and Dark Lord found us because we were playing Virtue's Last Reward.
Yes. Thankfully, the wasn't in that one.
All seems so long ago.
It does and it doesn't. Yeah.
You still mad?
Still am, yes. Ever since we finished Platinum back then, I have been mad. I've never looked at you the same way. Just saying.
Wait, me too. You're mad too, Psycho.
Wait, YouTube says it was, and I actively remember watching that and nothing else before that.
Yeah, makes sense.
YouTube
Definitely could have been that long.
My problem is, like, I remember what we've done, but to me, all of that happened last Tuesday. Every single thing we've ever done was last week for me. Like, I cannot tell you when we did something. I just know that we did it in the past. The only thing I remember distinctively is Super Mario Odyssey, because we started that around the time I got a haircut last. So that is now 3 years ago.
Don't remember your haircut.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in which game we were playing when you
Super
got
Mario Odyssey. Because that was around the time when you reminded me and taught the world again about the Dutch saying, he fell down the stairs and hurt his hair, something like
Broke
that.
his hair.
Broke his hair, yes. When somebody suddenly has a new haircut. Jack is a firm last Thursdayism believer. I don't know. Is that a thing?
No, haven't not be able to trigger it.
I'm being monkey proud of Tifa's inability to realize that wisdom command is randomized and barely ever works the way you want it to.
Very sometimes though.
Very sometimes is not as...
Very sometimes it can. It's the one you want, or it like fits the setting.
Are you ready for more Higurashi, Tifa?
Yes, I am. And just like now it does too, because I am monkey proud of your recap.
Are you, despite it being so long?
Yeah,
I saw your face twitch.
No, I actually needed that myself now. It helped.
Weeds don't perish, exactly. Just like my disdain for Tifa after that platinum run. Oh look, it's a Higurashi.
To be fair, I didn't do anything there. You just...
Exactly, that was the problem.
You just ran ahead and got lost.
Tifa's the kind of person in an action movie, she sees that there's quicksand somewhere, and we all run from something, and she sees the sign, quicksand, and she just stands there at the sign, not taking another step, and watches us all run in and die a horrible death. And then she'll go, "No, officer, I don't know what happened. I mean, they just ran." Mm-hmm. Awaken to your beef with just one single resub. Mwah.
Yeah,
Thank you
for
that,
some
mommy.
reason, Jack. And apparently Psycho too hold a grudge, but I don't see
Everybody,
how that was on me.
Everybody should.
That was absolutely on you.
Yeah. Is Keiichi a weed? Will he perish? I expect him to die in this chapter again, yeah. So you're saying you'd run headfirst into quicksand without looking? Me? Yes, but accidentally.
But it's my fault.
Yes. Nothing I ever do is my fault. That's not how that works. Also, we quickly change something. Because on Tifa's behest, when we played Thingamajig, Friendbo, I turn it on so that you all can see the mouse cursor, and that throws me off. So we turn it
here,
off.
there's no point in having it on.
Yeah,
here
but
it's in the way.
I forgot to disable that. So click. Much better.
Yep, it's gone.
There you go, Tifa. Stage is yours.
I forgot all voices, so they might all get new ones too.
I will help you. No, we need the old ones.
That's all for today, class. Please go straight back to your homes, everyone. President, if you would. Everybody stand up, at attention, and bow.
Goodbye. I thought about many things and saw my thoughts dispersed by many other things. I didn't know whether or not at that time had been off to a great start. I didn't know whether or not that time had been spent worrying or daydreaming, but either way it came to an end along with the class. Cheerfully our classmates got their things and ran for the hallway. Mion, Reina and Rika-chan were packing up as well. What about Satoko? This whole day she seemed deflated. Well, her uncle may not have returned last night, but she wouldn't have known he'd never return. How much I wanted to express that fact to her. Satoko packed up her pencil box and math workbook messily, and after a dark glance at the clock, heaved a sigh. Then went to leave the classroom. Then suddenly somebody placed a hand on her shoulder and stopped her. So why is there no sound in it?
I was just looking at my thing as well.
I mean, it's supposed to be there.
Could just be that because of the mood, there is no sound right now. Just give it a bit.
Wait.
Yeah, we don't play.
Shouldn't this play a sound?
There's no voice right now. Oh, what is
One
it?
sec. Did I break something?
Oh, you muted the game.
I did break something! I did!
Suddenly it works.
Sorry about that. Let's start over. So.
Oh, what is it? I watered the plants like I was supposed to and got all the printouts done.
Her words, possessed by a persecution complex, hurt. I spoke loudly so everyone could hear. Hey everyone! Why don't we have club today? It's been a while. Satoko always had to tend to her uncle, so club has been on hiatus. In our minds, our club was proof of a calm, peaceful life. By enjoying being together, I wanted to make Satoko realize her days of darkness were over.
I'm okay. I'll do it. Beep.
Oyashiro-sama's curse stroke of... Yeah, it's stroke of me when I set up the stream.
First stream, immediately.
Listen, ever since we started playing Higurashi, things occasionally have gone horribly wrong. This is perfectly in line with that.
Yeah. It it works. Well, I mean, I don't mind. If it's okay with Satoko.
Under a condition. That was important. With everything up to her, Satoko gave a worried look. Come on, Satoko, it's been a long time. Let's go crazy.
Well, I'm happy you feel that way, but my uncle might already be home.
Thus spoke her darkened eyes, her mouth unmoving. You've been choking on life every day for a while. You must be about to suffocate. It's not good for your mind or body. Once in a while, you've got to have some fun.
Please leave it alone. It's not like I don't want to do club again.
With one word, but, she looked down. Satoko, you know as well as anyone that it's more fun being with everyone, right? We're friends. That means we can spend time with each other. I mean, you had a great time at the festival. You had a great time at the festival yesterday with everyone, didn't you? Reina nearly said something, but she was too late.
She wasn't there. Keiichi-san, what are you saying?
But she was supposed to be there.
She wasn't there.
My arm on her shoulder seemed to weigh her down and she threw it off.
When exactly was I playing and having fun at the festival? The only one having fun was you, Keiichi-san.
Huh? I looked over to Mion for help. But now everyone was looking down. My instincts told me that Satoko hadn't gone to the festival. But Reina said it herself, that she went with Mion to Satoko's house to invite her. That doesn't mean that she came along.
Satoko-chan left on the way there. She didn't go to the shrine.
Why? I realized the absurdity of what I just said with Satoko in front of me.
She said her uncle was waiting at home and she couldn't have fun by herself when we were in front of the shrine. We tried to stop her too. We told her her uncle said it was okay and that he wouldn't get mad if she had a good time. Did he somehow get transported into another world?
He was busy shifting somehow. At some point, tears had begun welling up in Satoko's eyes. Satoko was so afraid of her uncle that she couldn't even allow herself time with her friends and went home. No, she was even afraid of letting herself have a good time with her friends.
Keiichi-san, you must have it nice. Having a blast at the festival all night. They told me you went all out, didn't you? I'm very envious.
Smiling to herself, her tears began to fall.
I must provide for my uncle. It's completely different from you, with how you let your parents do everything.
Satoko.
I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself at the festival. I'm so glad you had enough fun for me too. I mean, I want to participate in the club too. Making such a racket with everyone is so much fun. But right now, I can't.
Unable to withstand such violent emotion, a few teardrops slid down her cheek. But even though she was having such a terrible time, not once did she ever say that it was hard for her. It was a sad, obstinate bravery. But the days when Satoko had to feel like that were over. Satoko didn't need to endure it, to bear it anymore. She could forget all about it now and smile. I was so frustrated at not being able to tell her that directly.
If she was at home with her uncle, that means in This world, I'm gonna call it for now, he's still alive. How did we kill him?
Oh shit, wait!
She wasn't at the festival.
No. We don't know. We don't know the exact timeline. Keiichi called the house and told the uncle, forgot his name, that something happened and that she is at the police and he needs to come pick her up. And then somebody left and allegedly we killed the person on the bike who allegedly was the uncle.
Yeah, but allegedly we were with them at the shrine having a festival. So right now we do not know. Also, Gaming Jack, I'm really sorry I missed your birthday yesterday. Happy belated birthday. I don't check the old Discord very often anymore, so I missed your message. But I hope you had an awesome day yesterday.
What she said, at least the last part. Welcome in, happy Friday. Sit like a human, Tifa.
I am totally sitting like a human.
Who are you lying to? Yourself or us? Yeah,
I'm sitting straight.
Yeah, now you are. Ish.
Totally straight.
Instead, I said something that I'm not sure I should have said before I thought twice about it. He didn't come home, did he? The words were deeply meaningful to me, but I didn't know if Satoko understood them.
Didn't come home. Oh.
He didn't come home last night, did he? Your uncle.
What are you talking about, Keiichi-san?
Satoko shouted with all her might.
When has he not been there? When? When?
Calm down. I mean, he didn't come home yesterday, did he?
I don't understand what you're trying to say, Keiichi-san.
Satoko, what are you talking about?
He's been home.
I mean, that man, I killed him. Killed him yesterday. Killed him for sure. And I buried him. Buried him whole. He could never have returned to his house.
I'm telling you, we made some weird swap. Even yesterday, he was torturing me so much. He yelled at me. He shouted at me. He found fault with everything I did. He threw the dinner I made him on the floor. He dumped his bowl of miso soup on me too. It was hot. It was messy. And I cleaned all of it up. I cleaned all of it.
What the fuck did we do?
That's what I'm telling you. Something went wrong here.
Meanwhile, Gaming Check got hit with a snowstorm today.
Oh.
Had to go from school to school's workshop, which are 10-15 minutes away. That was just assigned by my group. That wasn't very nice. But at least you had snow.
That is true. That is
the fact
nice.
that I walked the same path thrice during the snowstorm. But you have snow. I really like snow, so I tried to see the silver lining.
It has its advantages.
Are you thirsty?
Uh-huh.
Why?
I don't know.
Tifa drinks and drinks. I mean, that's okay. You know, sometimes you have days like this. But that's very not you. Are you okay?
Imagine drinking water.
That man, but why? I'm so confused.
It's confusing as hell.
Don't tell me I was right when I said this is not actually the uncle. We killed some random dude.
Nah. We
Yes.
didn't. We've
Tifa.
seen his face.
We didn't.
We did.
We didn't.
We did after we started running after him and burying him.
No, you don't get it. We sitting in front of a screen, clickety-clacking the game, we didn't see the uncle. We didn't see him.
We have never seen the uncle before.
We did. Tepe, that's his name. Thank you very much. We didn't see Teppei when he shouted out of a house at us, or at Satoko because we were there. And we didn't see any character art for him either when Keiichi attacked him.
This bit doesn't matter because apparently we didn't murder anyone because we've been at a festival all night. That's the bit we need to focus on.
We killed somebody yesterday and it wasn't Teppei.
Yeah, but it also wasn't us maybe because there's been different things happening here.
Keiichi just grabbed his hair like, yes, and I'm thinking that's a red herring.
We've never seen Teppei.
I'm saying the reason why we, the players, have never seen art for Teppei is because it would have been weird to then see somebody that looks like Teppei. The only thing we know about the person that Keiichi killed yesterday in the story is that they have a hairline similar enough that he said that's Teppei's. Do you know how many people have the same or a similar enough hairline?
Yes, and he would have noticed after beating the shit out of him whether it's the same dude, yes or no.
First, he didn't notice it because he was so in his emotions, so in his rage, his wrath, his anger, that he didn't actually think, he just acted. And by the time he calmed down, there wasn't anything of a face left to identify. Remember, that's where we battered him.
I think we're focusing on the wrong thing right now.
Don't know what part exactly.
He would 100% ask himself, is this the right guy? I absolutely agree.
Or not. Or not.
But I think the biggest thing is here, what happened last night with the other Keiichi?
Let's try to find out. What? Our stories weren't matching up. But... Night?
This morning, when he woke me up to make him breakfast, he got so mad at me. He would have gotten mad at me whether I'd gotten up or not.
Satoko... Rika-chan went over to Satoko and said a few words of consolation. But Satoko angrily refused those words and thrust Rika-chan away.
Nini! Nini! Come back! Come back!
Crying, Satoko slowly walked out into the hallway. After a moment, Rika-chan went after her. I couldn't stop thinking about the words Satoko had spoken while crying. I buried her uncle last night, but she said this morning. That was impossible. I buried him last night, so she couldn't have seen her uncle this morning. What was Satoko? At that point, I heard Mion's cold voice.
Hey, Kei-chan. What did you mean about Satoko's uncle?
I said too much. I let my emotions get the better of me.
Reina heard it too. You said Satoko-chan's uncle didn't come home. Why? Why didn't he come home? That's strange. Satoko-chan's uncle was right there this morning, wasn't he? So why would you say he didn't come home or come back? Come back. Kei-chan, you've been saying weird things for a while.
Why is that sound effect playing in the background?
Because weird things were busted.
There's the Higurashi and then it was a... Suddenly, Mion and Reina started to speak in strange and creepy voices. What were they doing? What were they saying?
Kei-chan, is it somehow inconvenient for you for Satoko's uncle to be around?
No, what are you talking about? Of course it would be better if Satoko's uncle wasn't here.
Yep. That's true, of course. If only he wasn't here, right? Higurashi.
Exactly, Shenjima.
You got that right.
How are you doing? Happy Friday. The eyes are back. I hate this so much. I hate it. I will never get over this. Also, what's with the music? Do you hear this?
Yeah, this is what's with the music.
It's like layers of everything. There's the Higurashi, when there's slightly uplifting music, when there's the creepy music. It's like my brain is being overloaded through my ear.
This is the creepy music for the creepy moments.
I was good until I realized it's not real. That's why we post the schedule, so you can know in advance.
Rio will be back on Tuesday, as a matter of fact.
How are you? Even better now that you're here.
It's Friday. That's all there is to it, isn't it? To make your mood better. How are you doing today?
Something wasn't right. The next thing I knew, Mion and Reina were smiling thinly, and their eyes were dark and muddy in a way that I've never seen before. And as our eyes met, that mud even seemed to fill the air.
Is this the first time this has happened? I don't remember.
The first time it's happening in this chapter, I think.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Keiichi, do you know where to find Charlie? He's wearing black sunglasses and a black leather jacket, and he has a tattoo.
Do you remember about that incident?
Do you know where I can
uncle?
find Chinese people? I swear if it turns out that Teppei actually is Chinese, I'm gonna scream so hard.
Friday's my Sunday, so meh. Yeah, fair.
Nah. But hey, your Saturday is a Monday, man. Yeah, so I was trying to be uplifting, but I failed.
Good point. Satoko's uncle is an awful person, no doubt. I think we'd all be better off with him gone just as much as you do. But he's here. There's nothing we can do, right?
Nothing we can do. Something is wrong. Something's clearly wrong here. What the hell was happening? After a moment, a chilly liquid-like feeling as though my blood had been mixed with sherbet crawled up my spine. No choice. I mean, of course there isn't, but then Satoko will never...
If there's no choice, what would you do?
Reina was trying to prompt me to say more. There really was no choice, so I killed him. I killed him to protect Satoko. That's...
Leave him alone. I think things will resolve themselves soon enough. I sure hope so, because now it's confusing as fuck. Saturday's Wednesday, Monday is Friday. Monday, no, Monday.
Benjima, at this point... Listen, I'm happy it works for you, but if I read Friday is my Sunday, my Saturday is Wednesday, and Monday is Friday, this feels like all the parts of Resident Evil I didn't like combined. That's a puzzle I'm not made to solve. Anyway, hope everyone is well.
As well as can be while playing Higurashi.
Yeah.
Confusing as hell. Satoko-chan said her uncle was here, so he's here. He was here yesterday, and he's here today. She said so it's fine, right? Right?
Mion and Reina were speaking unbelievably dismissively. How could they be talking like that? Mion and Reina, they were my friends and were seriously worried about Satoko's abuse, weren't they? They would never blurt out something like this. And I definitely killed Satoko's uncle. No matter what Satoko or anyone else says, I wouldn't acknowledge it because him being alive was impossible. There's no way he was alive. It was impossible. And yet, since Satoko herself said he was there, then he was alive. I didn't know why or how, but suddenly Mion and Reina were at my side, standing there silently.
Let's go home, Kei-chan. After we leave, Reina wants to go treasure hunting for the first time in a while. Mi-chan is coming too. Kei-chan, you should come along. Of course, you're not allowed to refuse.
If words could freeze blood, then there was no doubt that they would have frozen me solid. I could hear it, a strange sound like a layer of thin ice spreading, emanating from every joint in my body.
I live a very confusing life, yeah. When we play this game, I do too. Otherwise, it all feels clear. Sometimes.
And with them closely at my sides, we left the school as if they were police officers taking me away. They talked about silly things the entire way home like they always did, but they always stood at my sides as if to prevent me from escaping. This was strange. Everything about this day was strange. Actually, it had been strange ever since the previous night. Yes, thinking back, it had been strange ever since killing Satoko's uncle. That creepy meeting with Takano-san was only the beginning. That insane night was still continuing. Yes, it still hadn't ended.
What? What's wrong, Kei-chan? Why did you suddenly stop?
Sorry, it's nothing. When I stopped, it was distant, but I definitely heard them. An extra set of footsteps. That was proof. Proof that insane night hadn't ended. Mion left where she usually did, and finally we came to my house.
Okay, Keiichi-kun. Wait here for me. Reina will come to pick you up soon.
What was it? She was inviting me along on one of her oversized garbage treasure hunts at the dam side, right? But why now? Mion coming along was strange too. Mion may have accepted Reina's little hobby, but she hated fishing through garbage, so she'd never come with her before. And the location, specifically being the dam site, was a little creepy. The dam construction site was completely outside the flow of everyday life. It was so remote that no one ever went there unless they thought to in particular. Nobody lived there and there were no lights, so at night it got dark very quickly. I was being forcibly invited there. There was no reason I had to fear Reina and Mion. Besides, wouldn't the trouble I'd make by refusing them be a pain to deal with? In that way, it didn't seem like going treasure hunting with them was a bad idea. But that insane night was continuing. Haven't the sirens of instinct been wailing in my mind for a while now? Warning me that Reina and Mion were strange, but I needed to be cautious. The warning sirens were so freaking loud it felt like my head would split in two.
Damn, that night where I beat a man to death in cold blood was really weird, wasn't it? It's even weirder that night I beat a man to death that is apparently still alive.
But Reina and Mion are my friends. Mion is my best friend.
What could possibly go wrong?
Remember how in chapter 1 they were the ones that killed us?
Also, I don't remember how far in this chapter we are. Are we like towards the end?
Yes.
In the middle?
I feel like 80% through. 75, 80ish.
Okay.
Reina, I actually have something to do.
Say around 2:30ish, okay? Something to do? Like what?
Like what? I just have something to do, okay?
If you had something to do, why didn't you say it while Michan was here? I already told her to meet us at the dam site before we split up.
Reina was smiling, but her words made her discomfort clear. Sorry, I just kind of missed the opportunity to say so.
Really?
You're lying, aren't you? You just made that up now, you liar. That's what Reina's eyes said to me. My head hurts. I might have a cold. So I wanted to get checked out and get some medicine.
Really?
That wasn't really a lie. My head did hurt a little bit, so I wasn't lying. Reina, she couldn't figure out if my head hurt or not, but just by looking at it.
Then I guess that's that.
I had a strong feeling that if we go to the dam site with them, we'll come back in a body bag. Or in pieces.
Chance, yes.
After staring me in the eyes for a few moments, she fired a sharp, needle-like stare at me. The tension in my body loosened and I felt like my knees might buckle.
If you're going to the clinic, then you should go soon. Sometimes they close early.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Make sure you go, okay? To the hospital.
I will.
Go. For real.
I will. It seemed like Reina had realized that I was going to refuse her invitation for a while now. With how serious she looks, she might actually call the clinic later to make sure I went. I couldn't say anything careless. Lying about getting checked out was just an excuse to decline her request in the first place. It didn't matter whether I actually went. Yeah, I'll go. If you want, I can bring you the bill tomorrow.
Oh, that would be good. Be sure to bring it, okay? Reina will look at it then. I shouldn't have said that. She called your bluff.
Another tingle started crawling up my back. There was no ignoring it. Reina and Mia must have been monitoring my movements. That wasn't normal. Far from it. All of it was insane. I did what I did because I wanted my peaceful life back. But what on earth was all this? It was far from peaceful. Something had gone mad, leaving the world out of order. With the other Keiichi Maebara, with those creepy footsteps I've been hearing, with Reina and Mion acting so curious, and above all, with him being alive. Where was I? Hinamizawa village, Shishibone. I knew that much. Was this really the Hinamizawa I knew? Hey, Keiichi Maebara, where is this? I asked, whipping around before the front door to face the one who has been following in my wake all day. Nobody would have been there, of course. Keiichi Maebara, huh? That's what I just called him. I called one who had been trailing behind me this whole time. That shadowy presence always clinging to me like it was constantly watching for the opportunity to change places. Footsteps always following me was another impossibility. It couldn't have been a ghost, so it was just impossible. So the strangeness must have been my ears, my head, or Hinamizawa. Everything I could see was the same exact Hinamizawa I knew so well, and that gave me the creeps. Keiichi Maebara. What if this is one of those instances where it's our footsteps?
No, he said when they stood still, he heard the footsteps.
Yes. What if it's us? As in us, as in the player.
You really think they're gonna bring in
Breaking the fourth wall?
the fourth wall like that?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to be shocked.
And then Keiichi turns to the camera says something about B. Arthur, and suddenly we realize it's always been Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool as Keiichi Maebara.
But it doesn't seem like a chapter 3 sort of thing to do that.
Yeah, fair enough. That's something for like chapter 8.
It's like an answer arc sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like 5 minutes before the final credits roll.
I have a feeling we're not gonna find out this chapter what happened.
Eventually I decided to actually go to the clinic. I really didn't want to go outside. A stronger feeling than that desire was the fear Reina might actually be keeping an eye on me to see if I went to the hospital.
It's not creepy at all.
Deadpool was really touching in chapter 5. With how this is going, for all I know, that could happen. Not in a good way. That would be very Deadpool, but I think Disney would have an issue with that. But before I went to the clinic, there was something I wanted to make sure of. It was at school. If the baseball bat is there again. Because he yeeted it into the swamp.
True, he first hit it the day before at the machine thing.
Yeah.
So if it's still there...
I pretended I'd forgotten something and was going back to the classroom to pick it up. As soon as the thought crossed my mind, I was overwhelmed with paranoia. I was just going to go to the classroom, but I hated it so much having to be so careful to fake it.
Maybe someone drugged him at the festival and he all imagined it.
After carefully verifying once more that nobody was watching, I went over to the locker. Yes, Satoshi's locker. I committed the crime with the bat I found in this locker, Satoshi's bat. And then I had thrown the bat into the swamp, which meant the bat shouldn't have been inside. But what if the bat was still in here? It was a very dreadful, incomprehensible idea, but if it was true, it would explain a lot. If the bat was in here, yesterday's events would have all been a delusion. No, an illusion. I hadn't killed anyone, and I'd gone to the festival. I had a great time rampaging about with everyone. It would prove that Keiichi Maebara was really me. Proof that I was only under some strange assumption that I had killed Satoko's uncle. Proof that it had been all a wild fantasy. That would explain everything. Nothing happened yesterday. I had just gone mad, unable to separate my shocking uncle-killing dream from reality. That would explain everything. If a bat was here, would I be able to accept that reality? If it was here, nothing will have changed. If it was here, it would just mean I'd gone crazy. Preparing myself for the worst, I opened the locker door. I was actually scared of opening it slowly, so I threw it open with a bang.
It's gonna be there.
And just like the first time, the choking scent of smell and sweat, like a stale towel, came flowing out. There was a baseball uniform and some miscellaneous other things like notebooks. There was also a shoe pouch. And as for the bat, it wasn't here. It was how I left it when I took the bat out. There was no doubt yesterday really happened. Now that I knew I wasn't a lunatic, I felt relieved.
And then someone just borrowed the baseball bat for practice. And it's back to me.
No, Satoko to kill her uncle. June 1983, the newest X-Men would be Rogue and Wolverine almost got married. Rogue was only introduced that late? How long have the X-Men been around?
Too long.
Wow, okay. First of all, why? Second of all, you are legally not allowed to hate the X-Men because that's my favorite letter.
Yeah, I'm not hating on them. They've just been along for long.
Damn. Yeah, I mean,
I actually thought 70s, but...
You know, they just keep rebooting the comics every couple years, so that nobody ever really ages out, because then you cannot keep making money.
Yeah, makes sense. Now you also hate the X-Men? I don't hate the X-Men.
Imagine if there was a Hedgehog X-Men.
I just meant to say they're old.
Which ones? Because the X-Men of today are not the same X-Men as from the mid-60s. Because that wouldn't make sense. They would be 60 years older than they are. You know, continuity is an issue. We need a command that just adds everything Tifa hates. Psycho, I thought about this very early on, but there's a character limit to how long a line can be in Twitch.
Wow. What do I all hate at this point?
What do you not hate would be easier to list?
Tomatoes. I know tomatoes.
You don't hate tomatoes.
Yes, I do.
Which I just said it would be easier to list the things you don't hate, and the very first thing you mention is something you hate. You're proving my point.
I was still thinking of things that are on the list.
To make it easier, they brought back all the mutants from the dead, and they live it on Island. How handy. But at the same time, if I wasn't the crazy one, then Hinamizawa was, and that was evidence of a reality I just found as difficult to accept. There was noise somehow creeping into everything I saw, and the world was losing a tiny bit of color. So, what did I know about last night now? Now that I made sure the bad wasn't there, I didn't need to be here anymore. Shall I go? For real, to the hospital?
I would start going to the park to see if the giant asshole that we never filled up is there. I wouldn't go to the spot where we buried the body, but at least on the pathway where we originally wanted to bury him. There should still be a sign of a giant asshole.
Why would there be a sign of me?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I also say we take a break in a moment. But you can't pick where.
Yeah, let's do it now. I feel like this is gonna launch a whole scene at the hospital, which is gonna be even weirder because Takano-san is gonna be there. Let's take a break now. And then you can think of all the things you hate, and then maybe we can make a comment about it.
Tomatoes, that's it.
Hedgehogs. The original X-Men, at least. Tifa,
I do not hate the X-Men.
Why do you hate the X-Men? Is it because you don't like the writing? You don't like that they keep going in circles? That they keep rehashing the same storylines? Is it because they're mutants?
BRB.
BRB.
Yep.
And the bug!
Yes, we are.
The X-Men live in a world that hates and fears them, mostly because of Tifa. There's a lot of East European angry mobs in X-Men. Why specifically East European? And I want to argue add Central European to it, because this one is not East European.
I do not hate the X-Men.
That's what you literally said roughly 5 minutes ago.
I did not. I just said they've been along for a long time.
Yes. Seems like hate to me.
Oh my god.
We need to brainstorm like all the things back that Tifa has mentioned that she hates. I want to make that command. I want to see how far I can push it. Now, back in Hinamizawa, it was my first time going to the hospital. But from what I'd heard, it wasn't far from school. My mom had told me where it was, a big, easy-to-see road went straight there. This is definitely not the same continuity as Chapter 2.
I don't think any are...
No, but now it's confirmed. Previously, the events of Chapter 1 and 2 kind of like intermingled. But in Chapter 2, we've definitely been to the hospital. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't remember for what, but we were there, yeah.
Wasn't that very early on, actually?
I don't remember. I just
Yeah, I
know
mean-
we have been there because I remember the background picture
Yeah.
they used.
No, we ended up there in the end in chapter 2 after we've been attacked with a knife. But we also went to the hospital earlier because we felt sick.
We had a flu or something. Or felt like we had a flu.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Are you sure? Maybe Keiichi forgot. Let's not go there. We're not going there.
I swear, if by chapter 8 to make sense out of all of this, I need to draw like a huge flowchart, like in a certain other video game franchise we played.
The thing is, I'm still not fully convinced if Higurashi has supernatural bits or if everything has a logical explanation.
I want to say by the time we have multiple timelines interweaving with one another, we are beyond the science approach. You know, the science and reason approach. Because you're clearly telling me there's different timelines actually happening. So this is not normal stuff happening and it just seems mysterious.
It's gonna be a sprinkle of supernatural in there.
Or at least metaphysical. Yeah. Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Nightcrawler are all introduced being chased by Eastern European mobs. Could that just be the American bias? As in, you know, in every country you have cliches about other cultures around the world, just like here in Germany we have cliches about Americans. So when you write a story, you will draw inspiration from that.
Why American bias, though?
Because the Cold War happened, and back then Russia and all the Soviet countries, so de facto everything southeast and east of Germany was the communists and therefore evil.
Yeah, but I don't think that's an American thing. Because even in Europe, I feel like the Eastern European part is kind of being looked down upon.
Yeah, true. Actually, some countries have started like running campaigns to make sure that people understand we're not like you keep showing us in the movies. Like that's not actually what's happening here.
No,
Which is
but,
kind
but
of
that's
sad if you
what
think
I'm
about it.
saying. That's not an American thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying American bias because Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Nightcrawler are from American comics.
Oh, fair.
Like that. Or Keiichi went to Angel Mort before he killed the Uncle Turles. Maybe Keiichi is the wipey guy.
I think we're on some weird sugar rush. Has to be. Or we got so wasted, like I said, or we got
On
drugged
cake.
at the festival, we just imagined all kinds of things. Or on cake. I want to get high on cake.
If they somehow bring this all back to... You're not gonna get high. Maybe tomorrow. We're gonna have dinner with my family tomorrow and there'll be cake, just saying. If they somehow find a way to like give us a logical, scientific approach as to how all of this is happening, I'm severely doubtful. If only Higurashi had a memo mode. I mean, I do have a pen and stuff, and I've got one note open still. I could take notes.
I can take notes too.
Keiichi sure seems to be having some strange memory problems. Yes, and it's getting annoying.
I'm just gonna be curious on how they're gonna explain this away.
I think the other big East European countries are like Transylvania and Latvia. True, Latvia because of Doom. That's where he comes from. Transylvania just seems like a really cool thing because of like vampires and stuff.
That's where everyone comes from.
But we're from Germany. Are we Latvian or Transylvanian in the Marvel universe?
Blah blah blah.
Okay, Transylvania. No, wait, we're actually from two different countries. I'll be the Latvian guy and Tifa is from Transylvania, but she then moved to Latvia to make like the eggs story happening. We could be now in Marvel. There, Marvel, take it. Make us background characters, please.
I think I would be the semi-villain. Like I wouldn't be a complete villain.
No, you would have villain potential, but I mellow you out. Like in real life.
I'd be the failed character in the comic.
I went past the shopping street and made a turn. It wasn't overly hard to spot the sign with Erie Clinic written on it.
This is new.
Erie Clinic! Erie Clinic!
Is that the baseball dude?
Erie Clinic, Tifa? Like Erie, the sports guy who also has a well-paying job and he's a doctor.
Yeah, the baseball guy.
He has a clinic. And unless clinic in Japan is just a normal term to use for doctor's office, he owns, or at very least has a hospital named after his family, I would presume. He's a big deal.
Yeah, apparently. Which makes it even weirder that he's not allowed to adopt.
There was one other person, an older man, there in the air-conditioned waiting room.
This is the shot we've seen before.
Yeah, with a super cute alligator crocodile thing that holds the note.
Yeah.
It's adorable. I went up to the counter and told him it was my first time here. The man behind the counter glanced at the clock and said there would be a short wait. It was almost 5. Clinic hours would be ending soon. As I sat in this unfamiliar waiting room, isolated from everyone, and let myself feel the cold air, I actually felt relieved. What should I tell the doctor when he comes? I could tell him I had a cold, but I was at the very picture of health. Actually, I wanted him to check my head. I wanted someone to confirm for me whether I was really sane or not. Keiichi Maebara-san, please come into the examination room. Huh. But the voice from the other side of the examination curtain, I thought I'd heard it somewhere before.
There he is.
It's funny how the examination room in the
looks like the
hospital
school.
looks exactly like the nurse's office of a school. Shortcuts in my visual novel backgrounds? More likely than you think.
To be fair, they already gave us a new picture from the front of the hospital. And like, oh, we can't make another one.
Yeah. Also, I do like his outfit. I love the combination of the black shirt and pants with the yellow tie. It gives me goth bee vibes.
Okay.
You know, not the black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, like a bee, but just black and yellow. Mm-hmm. It's like if a bee went goth.
Sure thing.
Bee! Not a command yet. Hello? This is the first time we've seen each other here. Coach! Coach, you were a doctor? Now that you mention it, he did seem to know his way around when he was looking at my shoulder in the nurse's office.
Yeah, because it's the same room.
He just likes touching people. Nah. What? I'm sorry, if you hurt your shoulder and there's a guy who just comes like, fixes it, are you going to ask yourself, is this person a traditionally trained medic or whatever? Or is this maybe some guy with a really weird fetish for discombobulated arms? You'll just be happy that your arm is working again. I'm just saying. You never thought of that?
No.
I mean, a sports coach would know how to fix a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would like to dislocate my shoulder once.
The shit this woman says.
Like, I can't.
No, you don't.
It needs to be like a pure accident because I don't want someone to do it to me. But just so that you can do the pop back, you know? Kind of want to know what that feels like.
You do understand that that's insanely painful.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, she said that. She actually said that out loud. Not that changes anything from thinking it.
No, we had this discussion more often with certain things. Even though you know it's really painful, you are curious on what it feels like being tasered or having bone pushed back in your leg.
Or telling Tifa that you like hedgehogs.
Having your shoulder pop back. It's like, you're curious.
No, not at all.
Like, I will live if it never happens to me. But it's like,
There is such a thing as sports medicine.
that is
Don't
true.
take my dream away from me that he got into all of this because he just likes, like, touching people. I mean, ultimately, he is doing good things, and, you know. It would make sense
And then I'm
if
the
he was...
weirdo.
What?
I said, and then I'm the weirdo.
Morally. If somebody does something good, but for wrong reasons, is it still a good thing?
If someone does something good for the wrong reasons,
Yes. Is it still a good thing? If Irie had a fetish for touching athletes, trying to find the right way of phrasing it. If Irie gets his rocks off by touching athletes, and therefore he is a great doctor, does that invalidate him being a good doctor?
I feel like even with these things, there are lines.
Does it invalidate the things he fixes and the people, or the healing effect he has?
Yes and no. Like I said, it depends on the situation. In this case, I want to say no.
But at the same time, you cannot tell me that people who become surgeons don't have something that is wrong with their heads. No disrespect to surgeons. You're doing amazing work. You save people's lives. But I'm trying to say, I believe you're wired differently. Because you look at a human body and you go, I can cut that open and fix it.
What's wrong with that?
There is a very small amount of surgeons in the world because not everybody can do the job. And I think you need to be wired a certain way to go, yeah, I feel basically, I'm fine with cutting open a human being, putting my hand in there, getting the bad parts out, and then I have to like put them back together. I'm okay with that. I enjoy doing that.
True story. I always wanted to become a trauma doctor for these things.
Couldn't do that.
But school didn't go too well at that point. Could have gone for it. Things just didn't really work out. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. Don't care about school anymore.
I mean, to a certain degree, you have to be...
Regret.
Exactly. You have to be inclined that way. I don't mean that in a negative way. But at the same time, if somebody who has the ability, who has a natural interest in these things for very selfish reasons, but that at the same time enables him to be really good in this field, does that invalidate his good deeds? I want to say no.
Well, like I said, there's a line to what it depends on what the reasoning is.
Yeah, it makes him horny. There.
In this case, maybe not, but what if you go even further and you go towards children?
No.
That's what I mean, there's like this line.
I mean, he doesn't seem to be...
He likes little girls. Suddenly the whole situation changes, doesn't it?
He is... I mean, listen. No. We have had this conversation about the age of consent in Japan in the 80s before in this game. Or specifically while playing this game. For reasons. And Irie, for me, is pushing it. Because he seems to be enjoying touching them.
Yeah,
It's being played for laughs, but at face value...
They just wanted the creepy.
I find it problematic.
Well, and in ancient times, you need people who like to burn down enemy villages.
Exactly.
Yeah, how else would we have got in history?
Hopefully less violent. Easy. There. You can be a good doctor and a bad person. He sure ain't Blackjack.
Blackjack.
Blackjack? Tell us about that when you're back with donuts. Ooh.
Enjoy the donuts.
Take a Boston cream one along for me. Or double choc. Where we put like cocoa in the dough and then it's like...
I always find those so disappointing.
You're so...
They start drying out.
Hedgehogs?
No, don't get me
double
wrong.
choc donuts.
I love chocolate, but with a lot of chocolate cake or like chocolate donuts.
And she hates donuts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
A lot of chocolate cake and a lot of donuts
Chocolate
get
donuts she
drier when you add cacao to it.
Not necessarily when you put in other stuff to keep it moist.
That's why I say a lot. And just a double chocolate donut. So just a chocolate donut dipped in a chocolate coating.
Stop trying to work your way out of it. You could have just said you don't like dry donuts.
It's quite often dry.
You could have just said you don't like dry donuts.
I don't like dry
most
donuts.
People would agree. But you specifically went, I hate chocolate donuts.
I did not.
That's what you said. Everybody heard it.
They can still be delicious if they're not dry.
They can still be, you know. They're just lesser.
Also, does this face look like someone who hates donuts?
No, but chocolate donuts. Blackjack is Tezuka's great doctor who was a scarred face. His unlicensed can cost a fortune, but he's also kind and will waive fees for the poor. He can do basically anything the plot requires surgically.
That still doesn't ring any bell.
What
is
franchise
that a movie
is that from?
or what is it?
I feel like if I Googled these words, I would know, but can't right now. Meanwhile, it would make sense if he was actually a doctor. Come to think of it, our teacher called him Irie-sensei, didn't she? Well, yes, I'm more or less a doctor here.
More or less.
Doctors have it really good, you know. You get to see and touch all that young, silky, smooth skin.
Oh, we just talked about
We just talked about this.
There you go.
I was trying to get you redeemed. Not beating the allegations. No, but he's beating something else. Anyway. I could steal the agency with a suspicious injection and have them be my personal maids. Wait.
I almost forgot about these things.
Did he just, as a joke, of course, say, I'm gonna give you funny drugs and then make you my maid? I feel like you can lose your license for that.
He did not say to us.
Thank you very much. Just seeing that made my cold go away. I'll be leaving now. Polite bow. I like how he says polite bow. Hand wave.
Wait. Can we get a bill? Or a receipt?
Oh yeah, just...
A sign of attendance. A picture. With the
Selfie.
newspaper. You have a newspaper? I need the date on it.
Uh-huh. Whoa, wait. Maebara-san. A joke, it was a joke. Come, sit down and let me take a look at you. I'll need to use my stethoscope, so show me your silky smooth chest, Maebara-san. He actually seems like the kind of doctor that would go, I've got cold hands. Or, you know when they tell you, yeah, please take off your shirt? He would be like, oh no, let me help you.
Don't bother, I'll do it for you.
Or his fingerprints on his body. That's not better. No. He's trying to be funny, but he's still being a creep. The problem is, with jokes, there needs to be a punchline. And the punchline here is pedophilia. So it's not funny to me. Yeah, that's not a punchline. For some reason, I felt really relieved. After that insane night, as much as I thought everything had gone crazy, Coach was here doing the same thing he always did. I was very happy for that. You don't seem to have a cold. Actually, those scrapes and cuts all over you seem to be the painful thing.
Ah, we have scrapes and cuts.
Don't tell me you were playing in the bushes with short sleeves and shorts. I mean, I can't say for sure you haven't been infected with tetanus. as I was chasing that man last night that kept being scraped by bits of trees. Aren't they called sticks?
What?
Wait. Whoops. I'd kept being scraped by bits of trees.
Oh, like that. Being scraped by sticks, bushes, branches. I would say branches.
Yeah, that's a better word. Branches.
I feel like you call it a stick the moment it has fallen off the tree.
Yeah, it's like...
If it's on the tree, it's not a stick.
You're right. It's like flesh and meat. While the cow still goes moo, it's flesh. Once the cow doesn't moo anymore, it's meat.
Yeah.
So stick is the meat of the flesh of the tree.
When you say it like that, it makes sense.
I feel like I said something deeply philosophical just now.
I'm not sure if that's the pure definition of stick. What branch that has fallen off of a tree.
Or been broken off.
But it doesn't make sense otherwise.
I didn't realize I had so many cuts. You went a little too crazy at the festival yesterday. Enjoy that while you're young. And once again, I apparently went to the festival. Coach, did you go too? To the festival?
Would you eat meat from a tree? Well, you can eat bamboo. That's technically meat in this situation. Certain barks you can also eat.
Psycho, don't know if you were serious, but I'm gonna give you a serious answer. That depends. Is the tree sentient? If we could grow a tree, like an apple tree, but instead of apples it would grow steaks, I would fucking eat those steaks. 100%.
True. Which part here is the meat from a tree? Is it the fruit that has grown from the tree? Or is it, like I said, like the bark?
That's the skin.
Yeah, fair. That makes sense.
No nervous system, not sentient.
Are jellyfish sentient? They don't have a nervous system, I believe. Or do they just not have brains, but a nervous system?
I'm not sure what animals don't have nervous systems, because I would still not eat these. I'll put it like this. As long as it's not sentient, I would probably eat it. So yeah, if I could plant a tree that grows steaks, I would eat those steaks. Yeah. Yes. Of course I did. I may be a doctor, but I'm also on the Tatarigoroshi executive committee. Did you see me there? This coach was the same coach that I'd always known, and I felt like I could trust him more than my weird friends, so I asked.
Always known? We met him, like what, 2 weeks ago in-game?
1-2 weeks. 5 days maybe.
Well, that I've always known.
Yeah, since I've known him, I've always known him to be like this. A minute can be always.
That is true.
Well, actually, I was drinking in the main tent with the chairman and the others the whole time. I didn't go out to see the festival at all. I don't think I saw you. Oh. That was a strange question. Perhaps you didn't sleep well last night? You can't do that. You have to sleep and eat well to grow up fine. Coach let out a laugh. He didn't laugh in an unnatural way like Mion and Reina did. Coach was okay. He was the coach from the world I knew. He wasn't someone from this abnormal world. Well, this all might seem a little weird to you, but I want you to hear me out. I want you to hear me out without laughing. Yes, go ahead. I greatly welcome any shy, bashful worries you might have as a... Why can't I read? Yes, go ahead. I greatly welcome any shy, bashful worries you might have as you come into puberty. You are disgusting, sir. Are there never any other people around who can report him to HR, or was this normal behavior, acceptable behavior in 1980s Japan? Because this person needs to have their hard drive checked. Could it be possible that I have an identical twin? I mean, yes.
That's a random question.
Coach hadn't expected that question at all and couldn't say anything for a moment. But then he smiled calmly and quietly answered. This is just superstition, but I've heard before that everyone has 2 other people in the world who look just like them. If there was, I'd certainly like to meet him though. Also, there are plenty of fairy tales where a person's double appears. The German ones about doppelgangers are probably the most famous. Doppelgangers? Yes. They look exactly like another person. Apparently they herald misfortune, and if you meet one, you're sure to die soon. I think that's how it went. They are ganging doppel. Yes. Yes. Funnily enough, doppelganger is also the word you use for somebody's stand-in or double in a movie. I mean, it depends.
Because it's based on the same idea.
Yeah, I think nowadays, when people are talking about like people who do the stunts for you, they actually say stunt double. But technically it's a doppelganger. When you meet them, you're sure to die soon. The story ended directly in death, plain and simple, and it made my spine tingle. Coach wasn't saying it to scare me though, he was just offering a casual anecdote, but made it feel all the more real. Have you ever heard of one of those things showing up in Hinamizawa? What? Well, I can't say that I have. Coach must have thought he was being teased, so he laughed in an exaggerated way. But when I didn't smile along with him, his laughter steadily grew fainter. I'm sorry, well, I was sort of being serious. No, I apologize for laughing. Was there something you were worried about? I wondered if I should tell him. Then, after resolving myself one final time, I slowly spoke. I didn't go to the festival yesterday. Is that right? Well, there will be one next year. And then you can... That's not what I meant. I didn't go to the festival, but according to everyone else, I was there. Could that even be possible? After blinking his eyes in amazement, Coach thought seriously about what I was trying to say, and he answered, choosing his words carefully. Let me make sure I have this straight. Maebara-kun, you went to the Watanagashi festival, but you don't remember it. Am I right? I was trying to say something completely different, but I suppose any sane person would come to that conclusion. That night, Keiichi Maebara was actually at the festival, but I was saying I didn't go. That obviously meant my memories of going there had failed me. But that was absolutely impossible. That vivid act I had committed during the downpour couldn't possibly have been an illusion. All these scrapes on my body prove it, as does the fact that the bat wasn't in the locker. No, that's not it, Coach. I really didn't go to the festival. Please don't take any offense, Maebara-san. Have you ever had an experience where you were suddenly somewhere unfamiliar and you couldn't remember why? No. And I didn't lose my memories or anything. Because while the festival was going on, I was definitely doing something else. It wasn't like I was asleep and unconscious or anything. You're certain you were doing something else? I know I'm being awfully rude, but are you sure you're not mistaken? I know I'm not. My memories are clear as day, and they are real. During the festival, you weren't at the shrine and you were doing something somewhere else. Can you definitely prove that?
Maybe.
That's right. Thinking it through brought me to this. There's only one way to prove that I really wasn't at the festival yesterday. And that was to show that there was no doubt I had killed her uncle. Coach saw me struggling to answer and his eyes looked a little cold. I guess they would. After all, from Coach's perspective, I was just a weirdo sputtering nonsense. But at least I have a smooth chest. Would you like to lay down? Maybe you should relax and take it easy for a bit. Sorry, I didn't really come here to lay down.
Also, it is pretty nice of him, like we're there minutes before they close. And he is really taking his time for us.
Yeah.
Like, that is nice. He could just go like, well, you know, it's now 5:15 already.
Yeah, overtime pay sucks here, so...
Yeah, your bill is now gonna be double.
Come back tomorrow. You seem to be a little worked up. Why don't I give you a sedative that'll let you sleep for a bit? That way... I'm not being strange! I realized Coach was treating me like a deviant, so I raised my voice. I apologize if I've offended you. So please, calm down. I definitely didn't go to the festival. That's the truth. I understand, so please, calm down, take a deep breath. No, you don't understand at all. Coach was stunned and stared in stupefaction. I've never heard of that word.
Same.
Stupefaction seems like a faction of stupid people, and I thought that would have been a great alternative name for our streams.
Seems like a word that might have popped up in a Mary Poppins song.
Yeah, or a Harry Potter spell. Stupefaction.
For example, yeah.
Don't they have a spell like that?
I doubt that.
But learning it makes me more loquacious.
You mean stupefy?
Stupefy is a song from Disturbed.
I think that's also a spell.
Is it?
I think so.
I do understand, Maebara-san. You didn't go to the festival yesterday. Is that right? I believe you. I believe you. Coach jotted down a brief note in his records. He was writing it in German. Oh! Bring it! I understand that. So that his patient wouldn't know what it said. But I could make a good guess as to what he wrote. Is it normal for Japanese doctors to write things down in German? I know German is used in science regularly, but...
German is quite popular in Korea and Japan nowadays.
Total geisteskrank, ab in die Klapse. Yes.
Imagine reading that.
Translation for everybody who's unfortunately not able to understand German. Completely insane, off to him with a nut house. Or off with him to a nut house. Yes. You won't believe me until I tell you everything I was doing at the time, will you? No, I believe you. Please, sit down. Before I said, I tilted my head back a little. The blood on my face all drained out and I quieted down. After taking a deep breath, I made sure that I was calm now. It would have been impossible for me to be at the festival. Because at the time I was... Should I tell him or not? I really didn't want to go on living like this, feeling this horrible. And I said them the final fatal words. Because I was killing Satoko's uncle at the time.
Oh.
Why would you say that?
Guilt.
I could smell the concrete in the room. I could feel the air around us sharpen. Nobody moved. Only the sound of a clock ticking told us time hadn't stopped. With his mouth wide open, Coach even forgot to blink for a little while.
Not everyone can keep these things to themselves.
Yes! But also, exactly, so why would you say it? Remember the whole, oh, I just quickly kill Uncle Tepe and then I will never talk about it. We will all pretend like it never happened and then I can have my happy, go lucky, whatever life. That was
That's not how it works. That's when people think, oh, this is going to be so easy. I will not feel anything after because I'm doing this for the greater good. And then afterwards you feel like shit. You have this guilt eating you up. You don't know what to do with yourselves. You can't sleep, you are stressed, you see shadows, you hear things, and you need to talk to someone about it.
It's almost like we said all of these things what happened when Keiichi was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill the guy. You killed Satoko-chan's uncle. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's still alive.
It's fine now, Keiichi Maebara. Don't hesitate. Admit it. With all your strength. Yes. Last night I did it. I killed him. I spoke clearly and fluidly. I could easily tell that Coach's mind had gone completely blank. Why would you... No. That was a foolish question. I believed it was the most direct method of saving Satoko, so I carried it out. I don't have any regrets. I see. Coach smiled thinly and nodded a bit. Then he scribbled down something again in German. You should read Crime and Punishment. People keep saying that. Maybe we should at some point.
People keep saying that. Seems like the first time I've heard of it.
That's because your memory is bad. But no, that's not the first time somebody suggested that we should read Crime and Punishment. After we've done Higurashi and Umineko. So 2038, maybe?
Wait, that's a visual novel? Not an actual book?
I think they also made a movie.
What does a book have to do with finishing Higurashi?
With all the reading I'm doing on stream, I'm not reading off stream.
Let me open that. So I can have a look at it later.
So I shouldn't have been at the festival. I left the brightness of my house for the darkness of the outside. And after that I dug holes, made phone calls, I had my hands full. And then I attacked him, killed him, and buried him. It was pouring hard at the time. The festival started that evening but was suspended due to the rain. There were no gaps in my memories. From the late afternoon until it started to rain, there was no time for me to possibly have gone to the festival.
Wanna bet he's gonna say that there was no rain?
And those runes, are they from that? Yes. There's a road through the forest near Satoko's house. I attacked him there, he ran but I chased him, and finally killed him near the road that leads to town. Is that true? Killing her uncle? It wasn't some wild fantasy? I could tell that Coach didn't believe me. So I spoke slowly, not letting myself grow excited. It's true. I killed him with Satoshi's bat. I threw it and the uncle's motorbike into the swamp. I dug a hole, killed him, and buried him. I did it all by myself. Satoko-chan's uncle drove past you on a motorbike, did he? Then you predicted he'd do that and just waited? I assumed he wouldn't be leaving his house that day, so I lied to him over the phone to get him out. You called him, but your house is so far away from Satoko-chan's. I wouldn't think you'd be able to make it there so soon after calling him. I used the phone closer to where I was going to attack him, the one at school. But Maebara-san, it was Sunday. Wouldn't the school have been locked up? A forest ranger happened to go inside for a bit. I slipped in when I had the chance. This entire sequence would have made a great start for the next stream, being virtually a recap of everything that previously happened.
Oh, so you're saying we should call it a night here? I'm just kidding.
Why can't I have nice things? After that, Coach grilled me on a few different things regarding the incident. He made sure to question me carefully, looking for any contradictions in my account. I'll believe you. What you did yesterday doesn't seem like a dream. I explained everything, including minor details that only someone who had actually committed the act could explain. I could, of course. It was only yesterday. Coach realized that my story had no expedient coincidences or too convenient details that would have existed in a daydream or a delusion, and finally seemed to want to believe me. So, do you still think I went to the festival and lost my memory? Coach slowly shook his head. But everyone in class, they said I was at the festival yesterday. Is that even possible? No, it's not. Your classmates probably mistook you for someone who looked very similar. Then, given how group psychology works, everyone just assumed that you had been there at the festival. Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, except that we were hanging in the group. Remember all the stories they said about the things we did, the things we ate together?
No, that has happened to me a bunch of times when people, like a group of people who I thought I was friends with, would go somewhere without me. They just found somebody else and must have been thinking it was me. Right? They didn't exclude me on purpose?
No, you were there.
Forever alone. Let me quickly wipe away the tears. Stop moving, I want to wipe my tears off on you. Tifa makes the best tissue to cry on. They couldn't have mistaken me. Mion and all the rest said they were spending time with Keiichi Maebara. It was much more than just having mistaken someone else for me. But saying that out loud would just confuse Coach. He spoke to me in whispered tones. I have an idea. This is a really stupid one. What if the Keiichi Maebara that went to the festival with the friends was Irie? He looks kind of like Keiichi.
Must have been it. Especially after all those drinks, you know, you don't walk as straight. Maybe he looks a bit smaller.
He did the thing where he took off his shoes and then he got on his knees, pulled up his pants, and then he just put his knees in the shoes so that he's shorter.
Yeah, that seems realistic.
Yeah, right? That nobody would notice that his like shins and like his feet were sticking out behind him.
Go say your lines.
Maybe you were Keiichi all along. I guess I must have been at the festival.
But when are we gonna say that even though all of this happened, apparently he's still alive?
Well, I'm guessing we're gonna go actually see Teppei for ourselves, and then we're also gonna see the character art. And then we're gonna go to where we buried him.
We already know he doesn't have character art.
We don't know that.
Yes, we've been told he has no character art in the show.
People lied to us to protect us. Do you feel guilty at all? It didn't sound like he was criticizing me. And even if he had, I would have flatly said the same thing. I don't. I did it so that I could return the peaceful... No, I don't. I did it so that I could return the peaceful days that he'd stolen from us. So I planned to forget all about having killed him and live my life as usual. And once Satoko's regular smile returns, the one from before he showed up, everything will finally be over. That's a psychotic thing to say. Completely deluded.
What? That seems like a nice way on how you want it to be.
Yeah, but no.
Well, if it happens like that, it's something else, but that's how you want it to be.
Actually, what would be worse? Being able to do that? To just go super compartmentalize these events like, yeah, no, Ancient history. Any chance that someone witnessed the crime? I don't think so. If someone had seen me, I would have been arrested already. I am a doctor. My job is to save lives. So I cannot make any statements to the effect of condoning the taking of another's life. So instead I will say this. Nope. Coach slowly rose and placed a hand on my shoulder. For saving Satoko-chan, I thank you. Coach's eyes started shedding warm tears. When I looked at him, I started to feel some tears of my own. I didn't know what I was crying for. And so for a little while the two men in the room fought back their tears. But it's strange. What is? I'm sure I killed him, and yet he seems to have returned home alive. Coach's expression immediately sharpened. Depending on the situation, there are many ways that mere unconsciousness can look like a real death to a layperson. Do you think it's possible he was just knocked out? I didn't check for a pulse, but I'm pretty sure I did him in. Oh Lord, here we go. Can I ask you to reproduce the situation in which you attacked him, Maebara-san? Coach rolled up a Health and Fitness Week poster nearby and offered it to me to represent the bat. Though I may have been lost to the emotions of a beast that night, I remembered in detail the number of times I swung the bat, the angles I had swung from, and the force I had applied. Using Coach as a stand-in for the uncle, I reproduced them over one by one.
Oh no, shit, now the coach is dead too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then he rolled up the paper so hard, so tight, and hit him so badly he actually
Darn it. Should have used paper instead of the metal bat.
Foam. And when he tripped and fell, I bashed him in the top of the head like this. When I did, it felt different from the other strikes. I thought I'd cracked his skull. The coach was calmly analyzing this information, using the places I'd struck and the situation at hand to find out what state the uncle's body had been in. I wasn't totally sure he was dead, so I hit him a few more times after he fell. Did he react at all? At first, I sort of felt his body jolting with every hit, but eventually that stopped too and he didn't react at all. Coach folded his arms and said, a few times. And then he spoke. He's dead. There's not much doubt about it. He didn't just look like he was? I can't say very much from just your story, Maebara-san, but I think it's almost certain. Besides, you buried the corpse in the mud and that took you quite a bit of time, right? Let's say it took you 30 minutes. That would mean he was buried under the muddy water for those 30 minutes. If you don't breathe for that long, your brain will die no matter what. But what if a person we killed didn't have a brain to begin with?
Then I guess there's a higher chance you survive.
So, me being super smooth-brained, I could go without oxygen longer? Sometimes when I tilt my head like this, I feel like a walnut is rolling. And I hear this clicking sound when I wait long enough. You mean?
I was gonna say, maybe he was just very creative with how to live. I don't know why, but I suddenly had to think of the story of, I forgot what his name is. He passed away a while ago. One of the last people who was living in one of those iron lungs.
Yeah.
Who turned out, or who went on to become a lawyer.
Okay.
There were times he had to sleep in the iron lung, but during the day he could get out for several hours.
Oh, really?
And he basically survived by just gulping in air.
Okay.
He couldn't breathe.
But he could do...
But he could gulp
swallow
in air to
okay.
survive.
Alright.
And then after a couple of hours he would have to go back into the iron lung and also sleep in it, because otherwise he couldn't survive long enough.
I didn't know he could ever leave the thing. Okay.
But what if Teppei...
What if Teppei is actually a fish? Or like an amphibian and he can breathe both air and water?
He took out the air particles from in between the mud, sucked it up through his butt like a turtle.
We hit Teppei so hard he grew gills. Also dumb as a fish. Yeah.
Who knows?
All the alcohol he was drinking preserved his brain through the being underwater.
Hey, if multiple realities aren't that big of a stretch, who says this is?
Yeah, I know, right? Just anything can happen now.
Exactly.
You mean, even ignoring how hard I hit him, he would definitely have died while I was burying him. That's right. It's impossible to stay alive buried underground for 30 minutes. Impossible. You're right. But Satoko, she says he's alive. Coach, a doctor, just gave his stamp of approval, but he was dead for sure. That made it seem all the more unfair that he could still be among the living. I imagine we go there and then he's like this Frankenstein's monster zombie thing, like.
That sounds even worse.
I mean, as fucked up as it is, you can have your skull cracked open and like suffer severe head trauma and still be alive. Don't know if I want to call it living, but you will have massive brain damage, but you will still like a zombie kind of.
I mean, it's possible, but I think the only way to find out is to go back to the site of the murder, even though that's how a lot of people get caught.
Yes.
But if we are kind of doubting our sanity here, so I don't think we have a lot of choice.
Maebara-san, this is a really horrible idea, but is it possible that the person you killed wasn't actually her uncle? I told you!
It's a question, it's not a confirmed fact.
No, Tifa, when a character poses a question that goes in line with something I said, it's a fact. That's how it has always worked, that's how it's working now. And I've never been wrong with that.
Sure
Ever.
thing.
Huh? He's right. That could be why it cleared up the inconsistency of my definitely having killed someone, but him still being alive. There's no way. I mean, we were both at Satoko's house when she was bringing his alcohol inside, and there was a man who stuck his face out the window to look. It was him, right? That was Satoko's uncle, right? Yes. You're not wrong. It was that man.
Oopsie daisy. I killed your uncle.
Teppei has a twin.
Oh, that's why we're talking about the doppelgangers.
Teppei and Pette. The parents weren't very original.
I can actually get behind that. The uncle has a doppelganger. Or a twin. Twin is more likely than doppelganger. Let's go with
No,
twin.
it's just somebody who looks similar to him.
No.
Could she have had more than one uncle or something? Not one that I've ever heard of. It's just him. Could you tell me what he looked like? Well, his height first. He was about 175 centimeters, maybe a little taller. In order to eliminate the worst possibility that I killed someone else, Coach began to thoroughly compare what the man in his mind looked like with what I told him the person I killed looked like. But no matter how in-depth my description went, none of the characteristics differed. The uncle's traits, according to Coach, were all exactly the same as the person I'd killed. But those traits were all extremely vague, and they weren't particularly distinct at a glance.
Yeah, this is when we go back to the describe someone's there was a nose.
Male in his 40s, 175, average build, dark hair, dark eyes. Congratulations, you just described 50% of Japan.
Quite sure he had 2 ears. Yeah, no, definitely 2 ears.
I think there was a nose somewhere in like this part of her face.
Yeah. I think there were teeth. I saw a flash of teeth.
Yeah. Don't know how many though.
Yeah, I didn't count. I didn't pay attention to that.
Could you, well, is there anything else about him that would let us identify him for sure? Dental records. Now that you mention it...
We need to get the body then, sorry.
Now that you mention it, I've never seen it, but... I believe Satoko-chan once said a long time ago that he had a tattoo of a tiger or something on his back. A tattoo! That was really important. Not everyone had a tattoo. Who doesn't have a tiger tattoo on your back? I have 2.
Yeah.
If I found a tiger tattoo on the back of a man's corpse, it would be proof I'd killed the right one. At the moment, though, there was one other thing that would verify this. To go to Satoko's house and see for myself the uncle that had returned home despite having died. But that was far more terrifying than digging up the body and looking at its back. What's worse? Trying to get a look at a person that is alive and not dead, or going to the place where I buried somebody I killed with my own bare hands, digging them out, checking their body, and then reburying him.
It's a very high risk.
Without even looking at the tattoo, I knew for sure the one I'd killed had been Satoko's uncle. I cracked his head open and killed him. And yet, he'd gone back home. There wasn't any misunderstanding or even the shadow of a doubt in my mind about having killed him. And yet, it was impossible for him to exist. Kind of like how Keiichi Maebara had been at the festival despite it being impossible. That small commonality made me feel as though a faint but bizarre force was permeating this insane Hinamizawa. And I wonder what on earth could have happened, despite you not going to the festival and killing Satoko's uncle. You were at the festival and the uncle you killed is alive. None of this makes any sense. When I look at everything that way, it's almost like I'm just having a nightmare and there's no killer at all. But it's the truth. The sensation as I used my own hands and that bat to bash him again and again. It was no illusion or dream. Coach let out a slow sigh and, after looking at the clock, got up. Let's go over all of this a little more seriously. If you'll excuse me, I'll go put on some tea. Clinic's about to close after all. I need to let the other employees leave. How nice of him to still be a good boss. Coach stood up and went out into the hallway, leaving me alone. The clock was about to strike 6.
Oh, 6.
I was at the festival, and the uncle I'd killed was alive. Had I really committed murder yesterday? The only whisper of a fact that proved it happened was the absence of that bat from Satoshi's locker. In any case, I was glad that Coach had taken my nonsense seriously. I just confessed to murder. Normally that would frighten a person away. But Coach didn't run. He cried with me. I was glad he did. Like so, my tension smoothly melted away and I suddenly realized I really had to urinate. I thought to use the restroom while Coach had stepped out. There was one across from the waiting room. As soon as I left the room, I saw Coach and 2 male doctors wearing white clothing standing in the shadows of the hallway nearby. I didn't particularly intend to eavesdrop or anything, but I was quite surprised upon noticing how uneasy they seemed. I hid behind the wall and quietly listened in. It seemed like Coach was giving directions to the 2 doctors.
Black tea? I'll make some.
Mix in the sedative you think best for the occasion. Cover the taste with milk and sugar.
He may grow suspicious at the sudden onset of drowsiness. It's possible he may get agitated and become violent.
Why are we suddenly getting tutorial fight Final Fantasy sounds? You know what I mean?
We're gonna fight the boss.
Quick, equip your sword and then hit the poofy woodland creature over the head with it. We will handle that. How many male staff are still here?
1 mountain dog. Including us, 3. 1 mountain dog.
Oh, an MD.
It's an MD.
Medicinal doctor. I don't know.
That's still a doctor.
Google it.
It doesn't matter
If I
right
click
now.
out of the game, the sound is gone. No, look it up. I don't know what it stands for, but MD is something a doctor has as a title. Not mountain dog. MD.
I want to know what the mountain dog.
Tifa, it's code. MD. Tifa is googling mountain dogs right now and she's looking at pictures of Bernice. Don't Google, don't Google.
What? I wasn't looking at pictures of Bernice. I looked up
I
what
can
a
tell you,
mountain dog is in the medical field.
It's an MD and it stands for Doctor of Medicine.
Yeah, then what are they doctors of?
Of medicine. You could also be a doctor of math or music or anything else.
In a hospital.
It's a title, Tifa.
Yes, but in a hospital, what else would it be?
You can add to the list of things that Tifa hates. Mountain dogs.
So we have 1 actual doctor, 1 that bought it from eBay, you I ordered from Shine, and I accidentally got shipped here by Temu.
You know, now that you say it like this, that explains some of the really wild things you're saying. Sorry, I couldn't afford a better quality Tifa. This one will have to suffice for now. You know, it's like... I'm pretty sure the doctor said mountain dog for the same reason on the phone when you're trying to spell things. You also say like A as an alpha.
Then why does he say 1? No. Unless someone tells me exactly what a mountain dog is, it doesn't make sense.
MD.
Doesn't make sense.
Like Alpha Charlie.
Yes,
AC.
but it doesn't make sense in this situation. So we have 1 medical doctor and 3 doctors.
I'm sorry, this is the point where Tifa will have to explain to us non-believers her grand experience working as a doctor in Japan in 1986 and telling us how they spoke. Go on.
No, that does not make sense. I completely disagree.
My colleagues back in
Jack,
Tokyo
please, yeah, I'm telling you. Listen to Tifa. Something there does not make sense.
Wait, when
Or did you see the doubt there? Did you see it?
Yes, because that means that they are being weird. And I'm still trying to cling on to all of this somehow making sense. What?
So suddenly it's like a whole different world, isn't it?
Yes! We've established countless times that you giving me information is like water down the river. You giving me information changes my worldview. You are not a reliable source of information. Never have been, never will be maybe.
It's gonna be really cute if there is suddenly the Saint
mountain
Bernard
dog.
or Bernice like walking through the door with this little medical badge.
Oh, he's actually helping out his colleague about a completely different case that they're treating. And there is actually 1 mountain dog there that they use as a stress relief dog for patients who are really like worried. That would be so cute. I want to get the shot of like the mountain dog going like when the dogs like they notice your stress and they do the thing where they go like
Oh, where they go like in your neck? Yeah, that's good.
yeah, where they lay like their
Or
chin
on your lap.
your body like
Yeah. No, but I'm telling you, something there doesn't add up.
Abandon hope, all ye who enter. Could be a good title for us.
Could be a slogan for us, yeah.
What was all this? I think I was already agitated despite what Coach said. Was that it? Was it just a casual conversation and it was only sounding unbelievable to me? Coach said he would bring some black tea and left the room. And then, in the shadows, he was telling his subordinates to put some kind of sleeping powder in the tea? Plus, they were getting extra help, in case I thought the sudden sleepiness was suspicious and started getting violent. Hey, wait, Keiichi Maebara. Calm down, calm down. There's no way something this stupid could be happening. I haven't... One moment. Did he say that?
Say what? That he was gonna get tea? Yes. He said, let's go into this more seriously and I'll bring tea.
Details matter. If you'll excuse me, I'll go put on some tea. Some tea. And now Keiichi goes...
Coach said he would bring black tea.
Coach said he would bring some black tea. He never said that. He never said that. And I think that might be important. I think
but
maybe...
black tea could be a standard. And you just automatically think that.
With the amount of barley tea and stuff we've been given so far? No, I doubt that.
Well, I'm not certain. It could mean something. I mean, sometimes it's the little things in this game.
Keiichi is imagining things. I didn't get Boston cream, but I did get a creme brulee. Ooh, please enjoy.
Nice.
Wow, I want a donut.
You can get donuts.
When?
You have 2 weeks off.
I want a donut now. Sorry for not being more clear about this.
Well, tea party. Heck
Yay!
yeah.
Let's get fucked up on tea laced with drugs. I mean, he was genuinely listening to my story, and he even cried with me. I thought he was the one person in Hinamizawa who would understand. This was Our signs of fabrications of falsehoods and his memories of yesterday in particular are completely confused. He can no longer tell truth from falsehood. It's quite similar to multiple personality disorder. But as for how quickly this mental disorder emerged, it's just not normal. Maybe it's inborn, or perhaps there were signs of it before he moved here. I'd like to take a look at any records of him staying at a mental hospital before he moved here. In any case, I want him to take a quiet nap. The two doctors nodded deeply. I should probably contact Maebara's-kun's parents too. Though I can't think of what to tell them. Please find his home phone number for me. My eyes, still moist, began to shed tears once more. This was too cruel. I really thought he had actually understood and had believed what I told him. But now, from the other side of that wall, he was bluntly treating me like a crazy person. I believed you. I believed you. I had to let down my guard because I thought you were the only ally I had left after that insane night. Was that a lie? All that about thanking me on Sadako's behalf, were you just pretending in order to keep me placated? Ah, my tears fell to the floor in frustration. I was an idiot. I was an idiot. I was such an idiot for believing that bastard. I heard footsteps approaching the doctors. A man in a dress shirt with no tie came running up. Dr. Irie, it's terrible. They found Takano-san. Takano-san? Wait, where? Well, apparently they discovered her burned corpse in the mountains in Gifu. She's dead. Takano-san. The men, all surprised, exchanged glances. Dead. Takano-san. Hey, wait. So then, does that mean when I cursed her wishing for her death, that wish was granted?
Okay, so now we are back to what happened before.
Yes.
Even though it still doesn't really explain what happened.
We learned that they found a burned corpse in Gifu in the previous chapter, and we learned it again in this one during the last round of tips.
In the previous chapter, we also got it confirmed that it was her in the end, right?
Yeah.
There was this whole mystery on who it was at first.
Yeah. Hochstapler-Syndrom. Which makes it sound like high stapler. How do you translate Hochstapler? Like you just keep stacking lies on top of each other, basically.
If you literally translate it, high stapler makes sense.
Yeah, but stapling in English is something
high
else.
stacker.
High stacker syndrome. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Bad. What do you mean, burned corpse? Was it an accident? According to a statement from the prefectural police department, the possibility is extremely high that she was murdered.
No, that one wasn't us.
As I cried, I laughed quietly. Serves you right. Serves you right. If I hadn't run into that woman, my murder would have been perfect. But she just had to come driving up to me and try to curse me like that. I regretted not having killed her on the spot, but now she was dead anyway. My curse, my wish for her demise, it was fulfilled. Serves you right. Serves you right. Risa-san died and Takano-san died. What on earth could be happening in Hinamizawa?
Wait, who's Risa-san?
I think the potentially prostitute friend of Tepe.
The
From
woman,
the very beginning of the game.
the woman that was found in the sewer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Don't tell me that this was all Oyashiro-sama's curse for this year. Like hell, I let the curse be real, Coach said. Everyone present just nodded as Coach cursed at no one in particular. Yes, maybe it wasn't Oyashiro-sama, but this was definitely a spell, a curse. I wished for her to die, so she did. If this wasn't just a coincidence and she died, I wished for it. Then you'll die next, Coach. You betrayed me. You pretended to believe me, but deep down you thought I was a madman. You looked down on me with all that pity in your eyes. For now, get the black tea ready. I'll bring it inside. I don't think he let anyone besides me be alone with him.
Now he also says black tea.
Yeah, now. And he said that earlier when he asked his colleague to make it. But Keiichi started calling it black tea.
Yeah, but it does turn out to be black tea, so now the question is...
Oh yeah.
Was
fine.
the sun tea just a mistake?
Yeah.
And it was black tea all along, or not?
Shit. What do I do? What do I do, Keiichi Maebara? This time I heard the voice of a nurse.
Dr. Irie? Oh, there you are. You have a phone call.
I'm a little busy at the moment, so please tell them I call back. Who is it from?
A Mr. Oishi from the Okinomiya Police Department?
Sheesh, what bad timing. Alright, I'll answer it. Coach left to go answer the phone. The other men headed towards the room with a teapot to make the black tea like Coach had ordered them to.
Go through the window, I guess.
Fortunately, Coach having to take that phone call meant there would be extra time for me to act. I had to decide what to do now. Would I let him make me drink the sedative-infused tea or be held down and thrown into a mental hospital? Nothing would come from me starting a brawl here. They had more people anyway and they were all bigger than me. If it came to a fight, I didn't stand a chance in hell. If I couldn't win against them, then there was only one thing left to do. Run. Adrenaline suddenly rushed into my brain and my body started to move with keen instinct like it had on that night. My surface temperature quickly cooled and the transmission routes between my cells enlarged. Is that what actually happens with adrenaline? I get it, but at the same time, it also has the energy of a 15-year-old trying to be hardcore. You know, I'm using 360-degree visual information. Yeah, you're looking around. He sure is impressing how sane he is to Irie. Yeah, no, Keiichi is a well-balanced person.
Seems about right. Turned around 360 degrees and left.
After doing that, ow! You know the Michael Jackson movie?
Seems about right.
Grabs his crotch. I put on one glove, turned 360 degrees, hit the Michael, and then left. Oh, that reminds me of an old meme. Hey Tifa, do you know why they call it Xbox 360?
No. Why do they
Because
call it Xbox 360?
when you see it you turn 360 degrees and then walk away.
I don't get it.
I don't know. I spent too much time on the bad parts of internet and where I laughed about it. I don't know. Google it.
Does anyone get this?
Google it if you don't believe me. No, I guess you just repeated my joke. Yeah, basically, but with the Xbox
with the
360
Xbox
thing.
controller.
A classic, yeah. See. Yes, but also no. But worse.
Yeah, basically.
Yes. Yes.
I get that the
Same brain cell,
360 is
Michael.
a circle, but what does the Xbox controller have to do with it?
Not the gamepad, the Xbox 360.
What does that have to do with it?
Because there's 360 in the name.
So we just went with something that has 360 in the name.
I don't know, Tifa. It comes from a time when people were arguing, no, the $500 plastic metal thing I bought is better than your $500 metal plastic thing.
But even then it doesn't make sense. I see an Xbox 360.
Hey Tifa, do you know why they call it the PS3? Because when you see it, you turn 3 degrees and walk away. It's the same shit. And PS3 has no games, exactly. No games. But preferably games, GAEMS, to go for the full energy. Yeah, no games.
Sure, whatever works. I'll just use my 360-degree visual information to understand this joke.
I use 360-degree visual information and try to ignore the person sitting next to me right now. Back then, the console war was still going on, yes. Nowadays, not so much anymore,
Has
but
the console war ever ended?
it's gotten less. Nowadays, I feel like more people know that there is no point in like arguing. Like, enjoy what you want to enjoy.
No, you haven't been on the internet for a while.
PC Master Race!
There's no point in arguing.
I just spit on the screen.
Yeah, I saw the bleep.
Yeah. You know, that's what you do when you play on the PC. Yeah, when Steam published.
Well,
Sega isn't involved in the console wars. Yeah, because they died. Sony killed him.
this 360-degree visual information is taking a long time to load, by the way.
I'm buffering.
Yeah, I'm like going 1 degree at a time to take it all in.
Click, click, click,
There's
click.
2 spiders in that corner.
See?
How did I...
Aren't you happy you've got free...
I should use 360 visual information more often. I should.
Thank you, Keiichi, for this trip down memory lane that nobody needed. And if you have absolutely no idea what we're all talking about,
We don't know either.
good on you. No, you didn't miss anything.
I feel like I still don't know.
I'll explain it to you after the stream. Jack doesn't have glass USB, Akugan. Don't you need to like close one eye for that? Using 360-degree visual information, I searched for an escape route. I would open the window behind me. Outside was a parking lot. There were no cars. A little beyond there was the bicycle I'd taken to get here. I determined that this would be the quickest method of escape. I approached the window swiftly, but with little sound to raise as little suspicion as I could. With the speed and silence of a shadow like I'd had on that night, I chased her uncle. I unlocked the window and opened it up. A cool evening breeze wafted in. I stuck my head out and looked over the parking lot again. Nobody inside. I should practice my moves.
You know, he's gonna get busted now because he didn't use his 360 visual information.
I'm sorry, I'm too deep into Shenmue not to think of it. No need to hesitate. I quietly crawled outside and closed the window behind me. I held my breath and listened carefully. Nobody seemed to have realized I'd run. I looked around. Then I jumped onto my bicycle and zoomed away. The pedals clattered under the force. Had my bike always creaked like this? Did the pedals always whine every time I pushed down on them? My bike wasn't the only one crying though. My tears fell as the wind cut through them. They rode the breeze and scattered behind me.
No, that's dramatic.
Oh, I hate this! I hate this! I'm not the crazy one. Hinamizawa is. I'm not crazy. This town is, said the crazy person on a bicycle.
Yeah, but if you completely believe what is happening.
That's the worst.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Also, Psycho, I love how the combination.
I love the farting bike.
Of the bike and the making it seem like it's a farting bicycle, and just I love that mental image.
It's not creaking.
On my end, the bike faces left. Oh yeah.
No, the steering wheel is on the...
No, it depends on the device you're seeing it on. You know, Chrome, iOS, Android, Windows, they all use different graphics for the same emojis.
Crazy? I think not.
Crazy? I was once. What are you talking about? How dare you treat me like a madman? Die! Die! Just fucking die already! I believed you! I believed you! Ugh. I'd gone to the hospital in order to escape Reina and Mion's invitation, but the reality that was waiting for me had been too cruel. Who was insane, me or Hinamizawa? Or was the answer something else? I started having trouble breathing. I didn't have any clue what was happening anymore. The loud chirps of the Higurashi were irritating me. Were even the Hinamizawa Higurashi I knew so well calling into the wind? No, that wasn't quite it. They weren't calling. They were crying. The pained wailing of those lost in some kind of rhythm in another world, no longer able to return to their own sunlight. I didn't do all that to end up in a world like that. And actually, at about this time, I might have been having fun with everyone else. Satoko would have gotten her smile back after realizing her uncle wouldn't ever come home, and she might have shown it to us at our first club meeting in a while. That was the kind of world I wished for. Boom! Title drop. So, what was this? Why did I end up in such a strange, ghastly world? Someone I'd killed was living like normal, and I had enjoyed myself at the festival despite not being there. I don't want it. I don't want this strange world. When did it start to go wrong? When? When? No matter how much I thought about it, I never understood. I rode swiftly and returned to my home. It began to rain during my journey back, and just like yesterday, I was now soaked. But I didn't care about something so trivial right now. The pain I felt in my heart, that coach, the one person I trusted, was acting so cruelly, was far worse. That I have no allies in Hinamizawa anymore. With a naive thought that I at least wanted my parents to side with me, I stepped up to the front door. Hey, Mom, Dad, can we talk? I killed somebody. Please applaud. Wait, Keiichi. It'll be dark soon. There was something you wanted to check, right? Yes. I wanted to dig up the man's corpse and get a look at his back. If there was a tiger tattoo there, I would know beyond a doubt he was Satoko's uncle. That long night wouldn't end until I was certain. If this insane world was all reparation, all a divine punishment, then I needed to make certain whether I had been successful enough to even deserve to pay that price. I went to the storage room again and got the shovel. It had been washed in the rain, but the paint was peeling, making it look unsightly. I've never looked at a shovel and went like, unsightly. Yeah, I've always only looked at a shovel and like, a shovel. I never, ever wanted to touch this thing again. The sensation of it in my hands was totally different from the night before. There was a ruthless coldness about it. Yeah, it would be dark soon, so I'd need the lantern too. There'd be a little bit of light from the streetlights, but it would get extremely dark. This is shovel-assist? I know, right? Imagine being so superficial about a tool like that.
I just like my shovels a certain way.
I just like the smoothness of it. I thought I put the lantern here, but I suddenly noticed it wasn't anywhere to be found. Then It hit me like a bolt of lightning. Of course. On that night, I hadn't brought the lantern back with me. I'd left it at the place I buried the body. If I didn't go get it soon, it would get very dark. And then not only would I be unable to find the spot I buried the corpse, but I wouldn't even be able to find the lantern itself. If that happened, it was all over.
Just do the Among Us thing. No, go for a walk in the park, trip over the body and go, oh, I found the body.
Self-report! Yeah.
Exactly. Like, how did this get here? Who would have done such a thing?
My fingerprints on the body? Yeah, I stumbled and touched him everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, but he did that, true. He did that with Eerie.
True.
Emergency meeting.
I thought he was still alive, so I went for CPR, tripped, and that's how my DNA is all over him.
Hey, Eerie, I think Keiichi is sus. you are Keiichi. Wow,
Tifa, saying that in this day and age, you can't just say you're supporting Spades while you're at it. Or you can just say Spades.
I love the energy you gave that. Like exactly 1/3 of energy. Like just enough to make it a thing, but not enough to actually like carry the message. Just like Spades.
Yeah, I stand by Spades.
But only enough to say it on the internet, not to actually do something about it.
Cancelled.
Spaded.
All the shovels in our basement are suddenly gone tomorrow. Tied to the front door.
Tomorrow morning, German streamer couple cancelled. Shovelware. No, you take that back. That word should be a bannable. I need to hurry. In order to fit the shovel in the basket on the front of my bike, I need to twist it and disassemble it. But it looked like there was dirt in the joints, and no matter how hard I pushed, it didn't want to come apart.
Can you go back to the log for a second? Who cannot cycle with a shovel in his hand?
Everybody who isn't Dutch.
Nah, I'm sorry. There is like 100 ways you can still cycle with a complete shovel. Either you put it like on your steering wheel, you can keep it in one hand, can keep it under your armpit. There are like so many ways you can cycle while holding a shovel.
Okay, given that you have a lot of opinions on this, Tifa, where did you bury the body? Spades. Yes?
I mean, do I need to say that now?
Yes. Directly in the camera if you
But I used a Spade 900.
So
Couldn't
it's okay.
have dug it faster. Rocks, no problem. Cold weather, not an issue. Snow?
A problem, but we don't say it out loud. Tifa, we're not talking about those tiny kitty beach shovels.
Yeah, I know. We're
Neither
talking
is
about
Tifa.
a big shovel that you can hold, put your foot on, dig in the ground. There is no problem with cycling with that.
Sleet? Are you sleet shaming us?
Like, I don't see why it needs to be folded without being able to ride your bike with it.
Because it's big and unwieldy. And it looks weird if you don't disassemble a shovel that can be disassembled. It makes you seem like you're in a hurry to bury a body.
I'm just saying.
What if you brought a snow shovel?
A snow shovel is also still possible.
He should have been better prepared. After a strenuous effort, I realized I couldn't get it apart, so I decided to hold it in one hand and ride my bike with the other. If only she would have let me read the line! So, I'm sorry, could you tell us again in detail, at what point in his logic Keiichi hurt your feelings?
Because he made it seem like it's not possible. And that's just such a weird thing. Especially at that age.
Should have let me press A! Keiichi is the shovel knight. I didn't know that was a spin-off. Do the developers know it's Keiichi? His loyal steed. He is going through a hard time, that's true. With the downpour soaking me through and a shovel in one hand and writing one-handed, it was as if I'd returned to that night. No.
That night. That night of the incident.
Yamagishi-san. No, return was the wrong word. It was more like that night had never ended. The pain of a raindrop striking me were no different from then. The thing that was different was Hinamizawa. The world and nothing else. The rain clouds were already making it dark and now was about time for the sun to set. I could tell it was... Wait a damn minute. It was 6 when he was talking to Irie.
Yes.
He got on his bike and he specifically said on the way there it's a short trip. Yeah?
Well, if it's winter-ish.
It's not winter, it's the middle of frickin' summer. It's June or July, probably. Or August, for all I know. But it's definitely summer.
Okay, yeah, so you would assume, let's say,
some...
there's light until 9.
No. I'm thinking we're getting evidence that Keiichi is becoming, or at least this Keiichi, is an unreliable narrator. I mean, always has been, clearly, but now even more so.
Yeah, but
it
rain
shouldn't
clouds...
get dark until like 8, 9 in the evening.
Rain clouds won't make it pitch black to the point where you can't see anything at all.
It's not about the clouds. The clouds were making it dark, and now was about time for the sun to set. If he, let's say the conversation took like half an hour, and then he cycled back, he still has a good 2 hours of sunlight, I would think.
Well, in Hinamizawa, it's known for its short days, even in summer.
Actually, that could be right. There could be mountains around them. Yeah, I guess.
Just take it.
No, I know. I could tell it would only get rapidly darker. The straight road leading to town, in the middle of it. That should be where I buried it. Yes, it was near that street light. On that night too, the water from the downpour was splashing down from the streetlight's overhang like a waterfall. The pouring rain was exactly the same as it had been that night, and thus it brought my memories into focus. Left my bike in the brush and stepped into the forest, the ground already soaked with mud. Where had I buried him? Think. The darkness, the shadows, the water, the mud. Everything was the same. Think. And then I spotted the lantern by a fallen moss-covered tree. That's right, I left it right there. If I left the lantern here, then I would have buried him over there. With a sensation of standing in the sludge, my feet remembered the spot better than my eyes did. I plunged my shovel into the ground. It's hard. It wasn't here. I just dug it up, so it should have been softer. I stick my shovel down in a few spots to test what they feel like. One of them clearly felt deeper. I recalled where the lantern was, where the trees and things were in relation to each other, and knew that it had to be here. Under here slept that man's corpse. There would definitely be the tattoo of a tiger on his back. But if it wasn't there, then I had made a horrible mistake and killed someone completely unrelated instead. I would be more dazed at the fact that Satoko's uncle wasn't dead than I would regret having gotten someone else mixed up with this. If this insane world was punishment for the sin of committing murder, I wouldn't be able to accept it until I'd killed Satoko's uncle for good. And then, without any fear, I'd attack him again. And that time, I would kill him for sure. But what if a tattoo was there? That would mean I'd killed Satoko's uncle. But that would be terribly strange. If I'd killed him for sure, then who was the uncle at Satoko's house this very moment? Impossible. I didn't even know anymore what I was using the word impossible to refer to. I've used the word quite a few times today. If I had to make the words impossible just fit one thing, what would it be? That much was obvious to me. It would be impossible for this crazy world to be real. I shouted, then turned behind me. There was nobody there, of course. It hadn't been bothering me for a while, but those footsteps had followed me this entire day. Even just now, an extra set of footsteps had splashed behind me. No one was actually there, no indications of anyone even. But they were there. Who are you? You've been following me ever since I came to this world. That's right. Thinking back, the first time I heard those footsteps was after Takano-san and I had parted.
Ever since I came to this world.
Those footsteps were my welcome into the strange inside-out world. Metaphorically speaking. No one could be there. I'd get no response. Whoever it was, they just kept staring at me. It wasn't ominous, just unpleasant. After staring into empty space for a bit as I bathed in the rain, my illogical anger slipped away. My tension loosened and an entire feeling reared its head. I tasted this feeling that night too. The sudden exhaustion I felt as the tension in my brain loosened. My vision quickly narrowed and I felt like everything around me had suddenly gotten darker. I couldn't give in to this sensation. I would light what little explosives were left in my brain and force myself to keep going. I needed to dig that man up before my stamina ran out. I needed to see the tattoo on his back. I caught my suddenly ragged breath and calmed down. Then I stuck the shovel into the soft, muddy ground again. At what point is Irie gonna show up? We explained everything to him. He knows.
Yeah.
And now we're gone.
It makes sense that we would go back here. So I would start and
yeah.
Even if I wouldn't think he would return here, I'd still go there to check if there is a body.
Yes.
That's probably the extra set of footsteps we're hearing this time.
It felt exactly the same as that night. The sense of digging a hole in the beach Oh, because of the water coming in weird. The sense of digging a hole in the beach with water coming into it with every wave. What day was today? Had I gone back to the night of Watanagashi? Every strange thought that came to my mind tormented me. Given my exhaustion, I didn't think I could manage to hold those thoughts back. Once the hole was deep, all illumination finally faded, blanketing my vision in jet black. It was probably the moment the sun had fully set too. That night I had feared the worst and gone without using much light. My senses were so strained that I could see even in that darkness. But now, I didn't have that kind of strength left. I drained everything I had last night, and now the darkness would be lethal. I decided to turn on the lantern. Putting it on the first setting would make it give off a faint light. Even with how little there was, it was enough, and people wouldn't be able to see it from far away in this rain. I grabbed the chilled lantern, turned the dial with a click and set it to the weakest light setting. And turned it on. The chilled lantern. I prefer my lanterns hot. An uncanny world of silhouettes appeared before me. A complex and strange shadowy world created by the intricate entanglement of trees and branches. I'd only turned on a light, and it was like that was all it took to make the world into something else. I had a quick, tired breath and wiped the liquid neither rain nor sweat from my brow. Neither rain nor sweat. And I raised the shovel into the air and slammed it into the mud. That moment. The silhouettes surrounding me ominously all moved at once. Inside my head, something packed in there, something coarse but not hot or cold, was loudly rushing about. The silhouettes were all around me, looking down at me. And one of them, a silhouette bigger than the other, stepped forward. Irie.
Ah.
Yes, thank you. Somebody did the smart thing.
Yeah, makes sense. Especially since Irie had him on the phone.
Yes.
He would have told him probably.
Yes. Dude, can you believe it? He just told me everything.
Oh, well.
I've got to remember an uncanny world of silhouettes. That's what I see when I wake up at 3 a.m. when I need to go pee because I drank too much before I went to bed.
There we have it.
Good evening. The moon sure is beautiful tonight. The coarseness in my brain shot through my whole spine and left me at my waist. The strength in my body all left me through my hips, and I crouched down with a splash into the sea of mud. I dug myself. Oh, Oishi. Is that really how you address your elders? You'll have a rough time of it once you become an adult. It wasn't only Oishi, but 5 or 6 of them in a row, men wearing raincoats. Oishi particularly seems to enjoy the rain because he took his coat off.
He's gonna get a cold next week.
I had no inkling that this many people had gotten so close. It was like once I turned on the lantern, they just appeared there, sliding out of the shadows. Please, don't mind us. Just think of us as trees in the forest, perhaps. Just keep going, Keiichi. I'm a tree in the wind. I'm an oak, mighty but movable.
I stand strong, but bent.
Beautiful.
I do not break.
Tifa. Beautiful. Just...
I am an amazing tree.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Gosh, my internet had a hiccup. No, you did see us pretending to be trees. That was not your internet. Welcome back then. Don't mind them.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm digging a hole.
I'm digging in the rain. I'm digging in the rain. It's just a corpse. Yes.
Let the body stay buried. Let the body stay
No.
buried.
Get the body out of the ground. Get the body out of... the opposite of let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah,
No.
but now we don't want them.
Why? Anyway, neither rain nor sweat. Fellow bacon grease on forehead enjoy.
It's a bit odd what that could possibly have been. But
I thought of a different bodily fluid, but yours somehow feels worse. Imagine a pig dies so that somebody can have bacon, right? Mm-hmm. And then the pig dies, gets butchered, gets chopped up into pieces, gets sold as bacon strips. Somebody buys the bacon strips, goes home, throws it in a pan, takes the still warm bacon and goes, The pig died for that.
I see no problem here.
Okay, cool. Now we know where the lines are. I had another first idea which I decided not to disclose, so I went with bacon grease.
Yeah. Sounds like the safer option.
I kept quiet too, but I could have thought of bacon grease. How did we get to rubbing bacon to our face? Ask mommy. Actually, no, wait. Usually, Psycho, it's your fault. So ask yourself, then ask mommy. Meanwhile, Oishi. Yes, pay no attention to us. Please, continue digging your hole. It's very late and raining very hard. And you're working pretty fervently. We won't get in your way. Please, dig to your heart's content. I wish I were so I knew what's going on. Well, earlier, Keiichi was like, I wiped my forehead, but it was neither sweat nor rain.
And then Mame was like...
The mystery liquid is bacon grease. Now you know.
That's all there is to it.
It's creative, I have to give you that.
What? Wait. What if the police force is up in the tree with, you know, these spray bottles that you fill with water to go psh psh on the cats?
No.
And they filled it with sausage water.
Why are you like that?
Does it still count? As water or rain?
Evil, yeah.
Mame started this, by the way.
No, Mame went with bacon grease, which is not nice. If this is terrorism, yeah.
It would be kind of funny to imagine Oishi in one of these trains going like...
First of all, it is, and Tifa knows that I can't explain why, but the thought of sausage liquid makes me want to throw up, and I'm not even being funny about it. My stomach is turning.
What a waste of perfectly fine sausage water. I kid you not. I got up this morning and the first article on
La la
Reddit...
la 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 la. Say it, get it out of your system.
Was someone using hot dog water to make gravy? And I think that's the first thing I told you before I got out of bed. I didn't really see the problem with it. That seemed so smart. I did not go to the disgusting route. I feel like bacon grease is kind of up the same route there.
Psycho freezes it to put us in his fruit punch. You take that back. Do not test the law. If that is unholy, no. For the record, because I don't like where this is going, Psycho did not start anything. Why did you do that? Why did you get us here?
Mommy started it, and suddenly I imagined Oishi sitting in the tree with a spray bottle.
My idea was Keiichi pouring it on himself. Purely consensual, if you can even call it that. The consensual self-application of bacon. Oh, my stomach.
So we're digging holes, huh?
Yeah. You know, I was going to go with something way more innocent and just say it was maple syrup.
That's very sticky.
Yeah. That's why he noticed it was being on his forehead, so he wiped it off. One of the trees around him is a maple. And just like the Higurashi, the maple was crying.
That
but when a
doesn't make
maple
sense.
gets sad, we get maple syrup.
Doesn't make sense.
Oh, but any of this does. No, thank you, I said. When I tried to get up and turn around, two men blocked that route. They stood on either side of me and lifted me up with amazing strength and threw me into the sea of mud. As I soaked in the mud bath I dug for myself, I looked up at the silhouettes looking down at me.
Also, I told you earlier, the moment he stuck his head out of the window at the hospital, I told him he's gonna get caught now because he didn't use his 360-degree visual information. And what did he not do?
Yeah.
In this forest, use his 360-degree visual information. If he did that, he would have seen all of them.
Yeah. That's barely any different from bacon grease. It's still a sticky food item. Some reason though, I have less of an issue with like honey and like syrups versus meat liquids.
I feel like the stickiness is
why.
worse than...
Hochstapelsyrup. Yes. No, I don't know why, but like meat juices and stuff always like just...
I want you to know that I'm not the one that's continuing that part.
Please don't
But
say,
but
please
I am
don't say
willing-
meat liquid ever again.
But I am willing to keep going.
I mean, you know what I mean though, right? That's exactly it. And that's why I had that reaction. Meanwhile, when she squatted, picked up my shovel and threw it at my feet for me. It bounced loudly off the mud and hit me in the face. Painful. Come. Please, continue. Continue. I couldn't bear the oppressiveness of the silhouette surrounding me, and slowly I stuck the shovel into the mud again. I felt like I was digging my own grave. If I kept digging, it wouldn't matter whether there was a tattoo or not, because That man's corpse would appear eventually. It was all over.
I'd slowly start digging towards more of the side where there is no body. It's like, nothing here.
Whoops! Oh look, nothing over there.
Oh look, it's my favorite rock that I was looking for. Oh, I knew I lost it here.
I buried my favorite rock here so it could rest with its family. It was all over. Surrounded on all sides and nowhere to go. But I just couldn't figure it out no matter how much I thought about it. Why were they here? Was it Takano-san? There was only one person who could have made the connection between me and this place. Shit, I knew it. She deserved to die.
Why does he suddenly not realize he told Irie-san everything and he even heard Irie take a phone call with Ooishi?
In case you forgot, this Keiichi is... Nothing has to make sense anymore. Get ratio.
It seems so weird that we're no longer... that we're not connecting those dots.
Tifa, sense is out of the window. This is
mean,
purely...
This is not a rational situation.
No.
Yeah, fair.
Stopping so soon. Yeah.
Bam.
Oh, she kicked me in the back, which took me by surprise, sending me flying into the mud. Hurry up and dig, please. You really should consider the fact that some of us are standing out here in the rain. Fuck you. If you don't like the rain, then just go home. God. Oh, she kicked some mud into my face. Use your hands, please, not your mouth. Only stage actors do both at once. Isn't that right, boys? I could correct you on that, but there's absolutely no need for me to do so. The men around him didn't react, not knowing quite whether they should laugh. But when Ooishi glared at them, they started mumbling out pained chuckles. Just who was this guy? I knew the world had changed after that night. But if I went even further back, didn't it start when this guy showed up? That was when our peaceful days had been taken from us. Ever since he showed up in Hinamizawa, things had been odd. Everyone stopped smiling and the world went crazy. The ground under my feet gradually got harder and heavier. At this point, even I started to think something was odd. I hadn't buried him this deep on that night, had I? My exhaustion peaked and I sat down on the spot.
Wanna bet there is no body there, and if anything, Takano got rid of it.
Yeah. That wouldn't shock me. How long do you want me to dig? Kids these days have no stamina. Hey, you. At Ooishi's gesture, the men all pulled out their own sinister-looking shovels. Evil shovels. As I watched the daze, one of them grabbed my collar, dragged me out of the hole and threw me to the ground. The rest of the men stepped into the hole I dug and started shoveling themselves. As I stared at them, dumbfounded, Ooishi sauntered over and squatted down to look at me directly. Keiichi Maebara-san, is this a hobby of yours, digging holes on rainy nights? When I didn't respond, Ooishi took one of the tin buckets they were using to bail out the muddy water, scooped up some of it, and splashed the whole thing in my face. At what point is this assault?
He believes he's dealing with a murderer at this point.
That doesn't mean it's okay. Damn, we got evil shovels before GTA 6.
All shovels are evil. Spades.
I hope that big spade check is coming in soon, Tifa, to make this all worth it. The rain's heavy today too. No matter how wet I get, I still don't understand the appeal. What?
There's the appeal of digging in the rain, I guess.
Tifa, please don't get yourself cancelled. Yes, Tifa, please don't us get cancelled.
Gonna get hate mail by the Shuffle Association.
I can't even think anymore. Don't get us. It's too late anyway. Spades. Tifa's backed by Big Spade. Where's no? He smiled to himself and scooped up another bucket full of water. I'll ask you again. Is digging holes on rainy nights your hobby? Who the hell would have a hobby like that?
Yes, it is our hobby. I like to then get naked, sit in it, and then go home. Now what? Now what? Huh? Huh?
For it's a free country.
Splash!
Oh, she hit me with another bucket full of muddy water. The pebbles in it stung. Will there be something in that hole? I've always liked that story, you know, about the old man who could make plants bloom and the puppy digging in his yard for gold.
No idea.
As he spoke, he ran the bucket through the muddy water again, to splash it in my face again. What kind of treasure is buried down there, huh? Can't you at least give me a hint? If you want to know, then dig on your own time. You fucking pig. I wasn't saying that out loud, but she mercilessly drenched me in muddy water again anyway. Shit. If only you hadn't shown up, the world wouldn't have gone wrong. Ever since you showed up, things have been strange. Satoko got abused by her uncle. I ended up killing him and the world went crazy. He was how it all began. Because of his culprit. Why do I think Keiichi is gonna full on like tilt and now attack Ooishi?
I wouldn't be shocked at this point, because now he probably feels like he has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But I think it's just gonna end up with there no body being there. And I guess they have to release him.
He splashed another bucket of mud on my face. My insides were seething with anger. Die! You died too! If I have some strange power to kill someone by cursing them like with Takano-san, then you're dead! And it won't be Oyashiro-sama's curse, it'll be mine. I'll curse you and kill you. What a rebellious look you're wearing. Why don't you use this opportunity to teach you a thing or two in that regard? Why don't we use this opportunity to teach you a thing or two in that regard? We really do live in peace these days. When I was about your age, corporal punishment was the norm for everything.
Ooishi-san.
One of the digging men in raincoats wiped some sweat off and called Ooishi over.
Fortunately, it's just sweat this time.
And not maple syrup. Ooishi tossed the bucket away, then turned around with an evil grin on his face. And we should be taking a short break here because our internet just died.
In that case, BRB.
BRB. Neat! A Twitch hiccup. Suddenly there was a message. You have been disconnected. Here we are. Yes.
And we're back.
She was stressing. Literally, I was reading the line. Door, and when I saw something flicker up, kept reading them. Beautiful.
Well, that's a sign, if any.
I'm trying to get to the end of this conversation so we can end this somewhere, but I feel like we're this close or this far away. Couple more minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, technically we just took a short break. So. Yes, what is it? Oh, wait.
There's nothing there. Please look at this.
Acceptance, or maybe resignation. I wanted to say to them, So you blockheads finally found out. Yeah, that's right, I'm the one who killed him. But you're the police, so it's your own job to figure out who he is, right? Come on, prove to me that he's really Satoko's uncle. What on earth?
We think it's an old drain pipe. It seems to be connected to the irrigation channel over there.
Let's smash the thing. It's not being used, is it? The men all exchanged glances, then hesitantly broached another topic.
Ooishi-san, the ground down there is pretty hard. I don't think anything could be deeper than this.
Did we get the location wrong?
No, at first it definitely felt like the place had been dug up before. But after digging so far, the ground suddenly hardened. Yeah, because this is my favorite spot to sit naked in the rain. I came here yesterday too. Now what? Huh? We think we've gone down further than the hole that was originally dug.
What?
Takano-san dug up the body again, I'm telling you. If there even is one to begin with.
So, what does that mean? There was a hole here and someone filled it back up? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Number 7, student digs a hole and gets naked.
It's not illegal, now is it?
I mean, if nobody sees you, it cannot be public indecency, right? Because it's not public. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah. That's why I do it at night, in the rain, when it's dark.
What? What were they talking about? well, I'm at a loss. Aren't you, Maebara-san? Well, she grabbed my collar and dragged me to the huge hole they dug. The mud inside was like an ocean, and I couldn't see any drain pipe down there. One of the men stirred it with a shovel, letting me hear it clang against something hard. There was no doubt that I'd buried him right here. But I hadn't buried him this deep. I didn't dig deep enough to unearth an entire drain pipe. So then, this man, his corpse, where was it?
I think that was a good moment to save.
Proof that I'd been successful in the night was gone. Gone. Then, what on earth was I? Was I actually crazy after all and just possessed by the delusion that I'd killed someone? That couldn't be. It was the unmistakable truth. It couldn't have been a hallucination. But now, the most important evidence that it hadn't been an illusion was gone. I hate it. Oh, mommy. I mean, fair enough, right? Might as well make the most of it.
Yeah.
Especially with a dog emo.
I hate it.
I ate it. First I ate your homework, and then the corpse. I killed him. I buried him. I had absolute, unwavering confidence in that fact. Then, did I fail to kill him? After I left here, had he started breathing again, crawled out and gone back to Satoko's house? Was that it? I had come here to see whether he had a tattoo or not. And yet, the truth I unearthed was far more than that. Yesterday, what was I? I killed him. I buried him. There was no doubt. But for some reason he lived and crawled back out. And that was impossible too. I'm so tired of hearing the word impossible over and over.
But on the good side, we know we've been there because the lantern was there. There was a hole dug there based on the soft earth.
Yeah.
So we do at least know that we have been there.
I can't believe Tifa believes in the soft earth theory. You're like one step below flat earth from me. Yes, Keiichi, get that existential crisis. He does deserve it. He deserves all the breakdowns for what he did. I mean, I've said it before, I understand why he would want to kill the uncle, but actually going through with it and doing it, that's too far. I get it. Dead people don't like to play by the rules here in Hinamizawa. Then I'll kill you as many times as I need to. I'll keep killing you until you never show your face to Satoko again. This is the moment to end. Always double save, people.
It's gonna get confusing. What has actually transpired? I guess that's the question we need an answer to in this chapter. What has actually transpired on the night of the Watanagashi?
In all of them or just this one?
No, in this one. What is the actual truth that has happened here?
Morphogenetic fields, possibly. Reminds me of a Shia LaBeouf movie. Which one? Transformers? That's not the one you mean, probably. But... Oh wait, yes, Holtz, of course.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that's Shia LaBeouf. That's like one of his earliest roles, right? I loved the book. I liked the movie.
Why do I feel like worldwide everyone at school had to read that book?
Disney money.
Disney money?
It's a Disney movie.
For real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Holtz is a Disney movie.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It even has Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Shit.
It was heavily marketed. Not over here, as far as I recall. I only learned about the movie much later after it came out, and I had never heard of it. Actually, I put on the movie not realizing I was watching that movie because I had read the book years before that. And at some point I'm like, wait, Stanley. I think that's his name, right? Yeah, Stanley. Like, what? Like, all of this seems... I've seen this before somewhere. Turns out I read the book.
I also don't recall any marketing for it. Like, I know for school, the book was in the library and it was on the list of one of the things we could pick before we were allowed to pick any book whatsoever.
For us, it was mandatory reading.
We had, every year you had to do like X amount of...
Book reports. And it started with you have to pick a book from the list. Mm-hmm. And I think starting our second year, we could just pick whichever book we wanted as long as it had X amount of pages. But I know Holtz was on that list. So a lot of us did Holtz back then. But I don't recall how I stumbled across the movie. I think I just saw it and put it on. Lois Sakar, is I guess how to pronounce that. He's a famous book writer for inventing the Wayside School books. Haven't heard of him. Then he later made Holtz to be more young adult. Okay. I'm gonna look up Wayside Schools because I really liked how Holtz was written. So maybe I'll like Wayside School as well. Oh, I think I've seen that before. Yeah, no, I haven't read those. But I still could. His name is Stanley Yelnats, which is just Stanley backwards. Yelnats is also what I have if I sit down in tight pants the wrong way.
The marketing was Evan Stevens, which was dope.
Even. Stevens.
Even Stevens.
No.
No,
I don't get it.
Also doesn't ring. You know, even is also in Steven.
Yeah, I know. It's also
like Stanley.
A recurring comedy bit with Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert ages ago. But don't think that's what you're talking about. No, the Shia LaBeouf musical performance where he hunts you down and tries to kill you. Doesn't ring a bell, but I've had that nightmare before.
It was a TV show. Oh, okay, doesn't...
Nope, doesn't ring a bell.
Doesn't ring a bell either.
No. Wayside School is a short story collection about a wacky school of goofy kids wherein Lewis is the yard keeper. Oh, okay.
Don't think I know it or just do not remember.
Really? No. Let me Google it. Maybe I have seen it. Shia LaBeouf. I can never spell this guy's name.
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf. Musical. Where he hunts you. I'm getting Rob Cantor, whatever that is. Shia LaBeouf Live is what it's called. Oh, okay, then I found it.
Then you did find it, but no, never seen it.
No, I haven't, and it looks like something that
looks meme material.
Could have been a nightmare scenario in a game we've played before. Okay, thank you. I will expand my horizon with that after the stream.
I've never played it.
Shia LaBeouf. It kind of sounds like it because Bœuf is French for beef. Funnily enough, also in Danish.
Fun facts.
I don't know. Gone to Denmark a bunch on vacations, that's why I know that. Bœuf sandwich. It's a thing you can order there. There, now you all learned some Danish. I'm pretty sure my pronunciation is awful. That's how I read it.
Roughly the same.
Shia LaBeouf is basically French for where's the beef? Weird Al.
If I didn't know it was an actor, I would absolutely believe that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if I didn't know that's the name of a person, I would be like, how do you make that dish? And is there a vegetarian version that I can eat? But what would a Shia be? Like,
I would go in a supermarket, look for the ground meat and go like, Shia LaBeouf? Shia LaBeouf? I'd believe it.
It also, the way you just said it, also seems like something that, like, you yell at people when they drive their car too close to you. In some language. In some language, I don't know. You know?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like Finnish or something. Shia LaBeouf. But no, it's a person. Also, is he doing better these days? I only recall like years ago seeing a thing where he was saying he was dealing with like mental health issues and not doing well.
Does he still act?
I do not know. I just hope he's doing well because, you know, that sucks for everybody.
It's quite a popular sound clip for Twitch originating from it. Heard multiple people using the link lurking in the shadows, Hollywood superstar Shia LaBeouf as a soundboard for when people use lurk. Okay. Haven't seen it, haven't heard it.
Alright. Yeah, not here. Also probably not gonna happen because, I don't know. No, he's still moody and making performance art that mostly seems derivative. Okay, well, that's a shame.
I was gonna make a segue into that, but nothing really works.
You know what's not moody and derivative? Us rating Hideo Benjima.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, that doesn't really sound.
What?
That doesn't really make sense. You know who's not moody?
Me? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just when life doesn't give you a segue, but you have something.
Am I live? Yeah, you are live. Are you not live? Holy shit. Let me guess, was that not supposed to happen?
Shouldn't you know that? More so than us? Okay, JK, and now I don't know where the joke is. Benjima, are you actually streaming or did one of your kids as a joke press the go live button?
No, it's just starting soon. It's safe, it's safe.
I'm easily bamboozled like that. Please don't do this to me. We've spent the entire evening streaming a game about a 15-year-old having like one nervous breakdown after the other and like reality unraveling. I'm all up there in my like mental state.
Better go stream then and hurry up.
Yeah, Benjima, wow.
Because we're coming.
You can't say that line that aggressively on the internet.
No?
No.
Oh.
That's just wrong.
Guess we're not coming.
Bye, Benjima. Thank you for dropping by.
We're coming. Better?
Slightly, not much. No, I can't
anymore.
I can't type anymore.
You can. No, that's worse. So.
take it anyway. If you cannot stick around for this slightly confusing raid that is going to happen in a moment, please check out Benjima whenever it's convenient for you. Maybe don't say I'm coming when you get there, or do, whichever, you know, whatever you prefer. It's cool.
I guess I should press the button.
Yes, please.
You ready for this?
Yes. Thank you everybody for witnessing whatever we just witnessed tonight. We'll be back on Sunday with more Higurashi. If you can stick around for it, we'll see you on the other side. Bye!
Thank you, thank you.